The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets need a quarterback, and in Mel Kiper's latest mock draft, they get a quarterback. A controversial pick. We'll talk about that and much more. Plus, today we wrap up the Chicken Soup Region opening round of ASMANIAC Madness. Mike D's, Nutz, and Barbarossa now Beastbreaker and Brigga this afternoon. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go. Here on a Wednesday, it is hump day. Free agency starts Monday. Well, legal tampering starts Monday. So free agency starts Monday. We'll have live coverage of free agency throughout the day. So get ready for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you hit the like button. All right. We got a lot to talk about. Mel Kiper Jr., who's still doing it for ESPN. He posted his latest mock draft. And he has the New York Jets taking a quarterback. That quarterback? Well, here's Mel on ESPN's Get Up explaining who he's picking and why.
And so where do you have Shedeur Sanders getting drafted?
That's your Jets, Greeny, and I think it makes sense. He handles the big stage, the bright lights. He's had expectations and pressure. He's had to deal with all that at Colorado. Now he goes to the Jets. Why? Because they went old with Aaron Rodgers, veteran with Aaron Rodgers. That normally leads to a young quarterback now coming in, and certainly for sure he gets the 7 because it's not universal love out there. I had one guy, remember when I said, hey, when Peyton Manning came out, somebody said his name was Peyton Jones, it'd be a third-round pick. People do revisionist history. There was no universal love out there.
Okay, couple things here. Peyton Manning was thought to be a generational prospect. Shedeur Sanders is not. And while there's no guarantee with any quarterback you draft, you can't even compare the level of prospect that Peyton was to what Shedeur is now. And I'm not just saying that, Shedeur can't be good because, he's not a generational prospect. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has the generational tag on him too. How's that working out? He's pedestrian, right? He's good, not great. He's not what they thought he was going to be. So, come on. And then, you look at Caleb Williams, and time will tell what he ends up being, but he didn't have this great rookie year, and he had the can't-miss generational label. So nobody knows, but I don't think you say, well, you take Shedeur because, the Jets had Aaron Rodgers, who's old, and now they want to go young. You only take Shedeur Sanders if you believe he's a franchise quarterback, which I have my doubts. I'm no expert, but the experts don't even know what they're talking about. But when I watch Shedeur Sanders, I don't see something that's can't miss. I see a guy that's really good in the pocket. He's not the greatest athlete. He's not bad, but he's not as good of an athlete as Jackson Dart, for example, or as good of an athlete as Cam Ward. I believe it was Connor Rogers who compared Shedeur to a Jared Goff type quarterback. Goff's good. I think you'd sign for that if you're a Jet fan, and that's what Shedeur ends up being, but I don't know. I just have my doubts with Shedeur Sanders. You're going to move on from Aaron Rodgers because, Aaron Glenn doesn't want a celebrity quarterback because that's what Bill Parcells always said, which, by the way, we don't even know if that's what Aaron Glenn also believes. And in today's NFL, if you're a good quarterback in the league, you're a celebrity because the sport is the most popular sport in the country. But besides the point, you're going to move on from Rodgers, and then you bring in Deion Sanders' son, who's already got a podcast and has a lot of media attention that comes with him. Now, the argument for Shedeur besides the fact, hey, the Jets would be saying we believe in this kid, is that he has been in the spotlight his whole life. He has turned programs around at Jackson State and then Colorado. Teammates seemingly really like him. Right? So, like, that's the argument for Shedeur Sanders that, yeah, he's playing in New York. You got to have that brash attitude. You got to have that confidence, that swagger to be successful here. Because if you're not, it's going to eat you alive. Or if you don't have it, it's going to eat you alive. And we've seen that. We've seen guys come to this market and they're excited and they're going to be different. And then the losing just beats them down. And it's hard. But Kiper's example of, well, you know, there's no perfect prospect. And if I had someone tell me if his last name was Jones, he'd be a third-round pick. You can't say that when comparing Shedeur to Peyton Manning. Like, they're not even close as far as prospects go. So I don't subscribe to that. But honestly, here's what actually concerns me about Shedeur Sanders. I was listening to Todd McShay's podcast yesterday, and he dropped this nugget on what he heard about Shedeur's interviews with teams at the Combine.
The two people that I spoke to were in meetings and had these individual meetings that I just laid out to you, what they are, who's in there, and why they're important. Teams in the top 10 drafting that need a quarterback. The two people that I spoke to in these positions left the meeting feeling like Shedeur Sanders was not overly concerned with what they thought of him. They had a 15-minute meeting with them, and when they were done, they both said in different ways, different words, that they did not feel like Shedeur Sanders cared all that much about what that organization thought of him. Fascinating, right?
Right. And that's not said in any kind of a positive light, correctly. It wasn't like they came in there and he knew who he was and he wasn't concerned about impressing us. It's more of a negative tone, the way you're saying that, right? You're saying it in a way that he did not come in with, you know, ready to impress, ready to show us what kind of a young man he is, what kind of a leader he can be, all of the positive things. That's what you're saying, correct?
All right, so let's go through this in the right order. A couple of the quotes that I put in there. One said that it wasn't a professional approach. One person that I talked to said the best way I can describe it is it just wasn't it wasn't a professional approach. Shedeur Sanders did not take a professional approach to this interview. The other person I talked to said he wasn't taking it seriously at all. I didn't get the sense that he was taking it seriously. So when you hear it wasn't a professional approach and you hear he wasn't taking it all that seriously, that's not the interview that you're looking, it's not the response you're looking for from a potential suitor, from somewhere you plan to go.
Like, how do you hear that? And if you're a Jet fan, want Shedeur Sanders? I'm sorry. And that's not coming from nobody. Todd McShay has been covering the draft for a long time. He's as respected in the draft community as anyone. Him and Daniel Jeremiah are like the top dogs. I'd say Connor Rogers within 3 years will be right there with all of them. He's already there now. Just he's going to continue to grow. Like, when McShay says something, it matters. He's got contacts all around the league. Jet fans, we all know, McShay was roommates in college with Joe Douglas, so we always paid close attention to what he would say about the Jets. How do you hear that and go, yep, we should take this guy at 7? Now, I'm not trading up for him. If he's there at 7 and they take him, obviously the Jets vetted him and Aaron Glenn feels comfortable with him being his quarterback. But if you're Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, does that sound like your quarterback? You want to make the face of your franchise and deal with the New York media? Now, if the Jets take him, they obviously had a different experience than whatever the experience was with those two teams in the meeting. But there's a lot of people speculating that the Jets were one of those teams that McShay was talking about. Two people in the media, or two teams that McShay spoke to, in the top 10 that need quarterbacks. I mean, the Jets are certainly on that list. We don't know if the Jets were the team that McShay spoke to. But I'm sorry. Like, that's the investment this franchise is going to make after moving off of Aaron Rodgers. Huge risk involved with that. If it doesn't work out, that's like a fireable type of pick for a brand new regime. So Look, if the Jets take him, they're telling you they have no worries about that. They have full conviction. But that would concern me. And I get it. Some of you are going to say, well, Shedeur probably already knows where he's going. Okay, and? You know, Dion already worked it out behind the scenes with a team that's going to draft Shedeur. It's all worked out. And? Does that give you a right to not be professional in these interviews? I mean, this is a job interview. You know, this is like a job interview with millions of dollars that are on the line. Does that give you the right to basically act like you don't want to be there? I don't buy it. I wouldn't do it if I'm the Jets. I wouldn't. It's not like the talent is so great that you roll the dice and deal with it. Like, there were some concerns with Caleb Williams coming out, right? People were digging up some stuff. Every year, there's always that prospect we dig up stuff on, and that guy is the piñata of the draft class. But I'd be very concerned if I'm the Jets and I took Shedeur Sanders at 7. I wouldn't do it. If he's there at 7 and the Jets passed on him, I'd understand. I would try and trade out of 7 and get extra picks for next year. I don't look at Shedeur Sanders and go, wow, there's no way a similar prospect of his level won't be available next year. We're saying this quarterback class is not that good, right? We've all said that. That's the narrative about this year's QB class. It's not last year. It is not a great quarterback class. So next year, while there's no guarantee it's going to be a great quarterback class, it can't be worse than this class. There's no way. It can't be. So I would try and trade out of 7 and get extra picks. And then maybe take someone at the end of round 1 if I want the 5th-year option on them, if I have more conviction in them, or just wait till day 2 or day 3. You know, because if he's there at 7 and the Jets don't want him, there's going to be a team that will, and then all of a sudden, you actually could get something for the number 7 pick in a trade back. Because it's hard to trade back. Everyone says trade down, trade down, trade down. Well, you got to have a team that wants to come up. And very rarely do teams come up for, like, non-quarterbacks. I mean, you see wide receiver trade-ups and occasionally other positions. We saw the Jets do it for Breece in the 2nd round and Jermaine in round 1. But, you know, most of the time, if you're going to have some trades, it's because teams are coming up for a quarterback. That's the way to extract the most value. I wouldn't take him. The only quarterback I would use a first-round pick on in this class is Cam Ward. I watched Shedeur Sanders, and I get it. He's accurate. I get it that he can make some really good throws, and he was a tough prospect to evaluate because of the offensive line he was dealing with. I understand all that. I'm good. If I got to wonder if this guy is built to be able to be the CEO of my team, the face of my franchise, I'm not taking him at the top 7 pick. And honestly, if what McShay is relaying there is true from 2 teams who told him the same thing that met with Shedeur, does that sound like someone that Aaron Glenn is going to want to deal with here as I'm wearing my Put Your Seatbelts On t-shirt? You think Aaron Glenn is going to want to put up with that based on what we know about AG? You think that's his quarterback?
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
I don't buy it. I do not buy it. You know, forget the mock. A mock is a mock. But what McShay is saying there, that scares me about Shedeur Sanders. It does. We can pretend like it doesn't. And if the Jets do take him, I'll try and be as positive as possible, saying we got to give him a chance. And he's built for New York. He's been in the spotlight his whole life. But I'm scared. I'm scared of taking him that high. Now, if he somehow slides like Geno Smith did out of the 1st round and he's there in the 2nd round, you want to take him? That's a different conversation. You're not setting your franchise back if you take a quarterback in the 2nd round. That doesn't work out. You're potentially setting your franchise back if you're taking Shedeur Sanders at number 7, and it doesn't work out. Now, if it works out, obviously, great job by the Jets, but I have my doubts. Now, as far as the rest of Kiper's mock draft, just to give people a little feel here, he has Abdul Carter going 1, Cam Ward going 2. He has the Giants taking Travis Hunter at 3, which I found to be interesting. Because the Giants need a quarterback. Would they be desperate for Shedeur in that spot if Cam's gone? I'm also not convinced the Giants don't just trade up to number 1 and guarantee themselves Cam Ward with how desperate Joe Shane and Brian Dable are trying to save their jobs. Or do they view it, hey, we got to win, So we're going to sign Russell Wilson in free agency or Sam Darnold or Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to try and supplement our team with a blue chipper and Hunter or Carter, who's ever there. Like, how did Dable and Shane play? Do they need to get the quarterback in round one, or could they take a great player and then try and take, Jackson Dart or Tyler Shuck or someone else on day two and have that guy in the pipeline behind whichever veteran they add, whether it's Russell Wilson or Rodgers, Darnold, etc. Campbell at 4 to the Patriots. Graham at 5 to Jacksonville. Raiders take Ashton Genty, which I don't see Vegas taking a running back that high, but who knows? Raiders do weird things. Jets taking Shador. I mean, man. I wouldn't do it. I'd rather Warren in that spot. I'd rather Armin Membu in that spot. I'm starting to sour a little bit on Tet McMillan, but I'm still probably taking him over Shador. Mike Green could be in that spot if you want to go edge rusher, or I know Will Parkinson loves Shamir Stewart and Jalen Walker. They're in play there maybe. I don't know. I have my concerns. I would only trade up for Cam Ward. Now, if they took Shador at 7, I would understand the logic, but just based on what we're hearing, does that sound like an Aaron Glenn player once again? All the Glenn people. We got to get rid of Rodgers. Glenn wants to build his culture his way. Do it his way. He's Aaron Glenn. Yeah. We don't need Aaron Rodgers. We need to get rid of his ass. So let's bring in Deion Sanders' son and all the attention that brings. And the Jets, they start 0-2 with Shador playing quarterback, and then Deion does an interview and rips the offensive coordinator, and it becomes a major headline. Like, if Shador went to a place with an established coach, he went to Pittsburgh, you're not worried about it. Tomlin's not going to let that be a problem. Right? If he went to Kansas City, or he went to McVay with the Rams, you're not worried about that. First-time coach, I don't know what Aaron Glenn is as a head coach. I know he was a great defensive coordinator. I know he was an awesome player. I know people respect him. People respected Robert Saleh, too. It's a different job. So we don't know. That's why I just don't think it's a fit right now for the Jets. I'd be surprised. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. If you're tuning in for the first time this week, the ASMANIAC raffle continues to add epic prizes. We're giving away 5 signed items by Jets Hall of Famers. A signed Curtis Martin helmet. A signed Darrelle Revis helmet. A signed Don Maynard helmet. A signed Joe Namath helmet. And just added yesterday, a signed Kevin Mawai helmet. First time we've given away an item signed by the Hall of Fame Jet Center. So if you want to support the channel and get in our next giveaway, gift a channel membership and your name will be added. If you gift 5, you get 5. You gift 10, you get 10. You gift 20, I put on my helmet and scream and yell. That said, thanks to everyone who continues to support the channel. I'll have a date for when we're going to do the ASMANIAC raffle in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. It's going to depend on the content schedule with free agency and everything going on with the Jets, but it's coming soon. Bill writes in with a super chat to start us off here. Not saying Sanders' attitude was right, but pull up the video of his dad speaking about his interview process back in the day. Very similar, and his dad was different talent, not condoning it, but the apple, ... I get it, but, like, come on, man. It's a job interview. Like, be professional. Acting like you're too good to be there, apparently. Like, I don't love hearing that. How could you? And being quarterback in New York and the Jets, it's a different level of scrutiny. I know he's been in the spotlight his whole life, but it's different when you're the Jet quarterback. It is. Julian with a $20 super chat. This gets him 5 raffle entries as well.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Sanders has done good with bringing college programs up from the grave. His son has had hard work to put in. Might be good. He might be good. And if the Jets take him, you got to trust that they vetted him. They think his personality is a fit for the city, for the franchise. They believe that he's coachable, right? Because he's going to struggle as a rookie. Chances are he's not going to be Jaden Daniels or CJ Stroud right away. There's going to be growing pains. How do you handle that? He might be good. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm just saying I don't think the Jets can risk taking him. To me, he's not so far and away this great prospect that I have to use a top 7 pick on the guy. That's my point. Like, I don't think, like, I think Shedeur Sanders come out every year in the draft. Like, that level of prospect. Understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the difference between Shedeur and the other quarterbacks is all that great. In fact, there's a debate now I know by someone in the draft community, is Shedeur even the number 2 quarterback? Or is it someone else? I don't think there's a debate who the top quarterback is. Like, Cam Ward's a really good quarterback prospect. I'm way more comfortable taking him at 7. Doesn't mean Cam Ward's going to be good, but I'm more comfortable with him at 7 than I am Shedeur. I don't think Cam makes it to 7, though. I think you got to trade up for him, which I don't even know if I would do that. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Polls will open. Voting will open for our first ASMANIAC Madness matchup. Mike D's Nutz and Barbarossa going head-to-head in the round of 64 in the chicken soup region. Just to give everyone an update on the brackets, check the bracket pool if you filled one out. You'll see the standings here. We have just 2 matchups left in the chicken soup region. Then we're on to the hood region. You'll see on the left, we had Aurora, who won yesterday in our morning slate, and King Lowski, who won in the afternoon slate. Congrats to Aurora on the win over Tim from Fishland, and King Lowski on the win over the great Genergy in the afternoon slate. So, 2 matchups to go in the chicken soup region, and then we're on to the hood region with number 1 seed Cheats Fan getting us started tomorrow on the show against listener Bijan. With that said, today's matchup features Mike D's Nuts and Barbarossa, and it is time to vote.
It's time for ASMANIAC Madness. Who will cut the nets down as the top ASMANIAC for 2025? Some of you don't even care, but we do. Let's get to it.
Every vote matters. Vote, vote, vote. The poll is now live. A lot of you on hold. We will get to your calls, but I have time right now to take a quick commercial break. This ad is paid for by the Beast Breaker over Briga campaign.
Ladies and gentlemen, vote for the Beast. You know why? Because I'm a man's man. I'm a man's man, and let me just say this. 5 times I went back-to-back 5 different times. I've singled 4 titles in my illustrious career. 3 Triple Crowns, 2 Grand Slams, a Hall of Famer. I fit in like the likes of Terry Funk, Dory Funk, Ric Flair, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, Gene Kaniski, and many of the other greats. And don't let my hair fool you. I'm bigger, I'm badder, I'm smarter. I'm not fat, but I'm a man's man, and I'm going to tell it like it is. Vote for the Beast, and you'll see the difference between facts and fiction.
The Beast versus Briga matchup this afternoon. Highly anticipated. 4 p.m. Eastern time today. Jeff Parles will be making his return to the show for that one. Get ready, folks. But right now, vote, vote, vote. Mike D's Nuts and Barbarossa in an awesome matchup here on our first show of the day. All right, comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Let's get to a super chat here from Michael, who says, if Sanders is there at 7, who would want to come up and get him? How far do we move back? How far do they move back? I mean, you got to look at the teams that potentially need quarterbacks, Michael. So we'll take a look right here. You know, could you see New Orleans maybe coming up 2 spots? They need a quarterback. You know, does Kellen Moore believe Shedeur Sanders could be his franchise quarterback? Right? He had Dak Prescott in Dallas. Dak is not like an unbelievable runner, athlete. He's more of a pocket quarterback. We know Jalen Hurts was more of a runner. So I don't know how he feels about Shedeur. I mean, the Bears, no. Niners, no. Miami, no. Indy, maybe. You know, they have Anthony Richardson, but they sold on him. They've already said they're going to have an open competition. Atlanta, no. Arizona, no. I mean, I have to pull up the rest of the order here. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, do I think Seattle's going to go from 18 to 7? Probably not. Tampa, no. Denver, no. Pittsburgh at 21, maybe, but I don't know if they're going to go all the way up. Chargers, no. Green Bay, no. Minnesota, no. It's hard to find a team because a lot of the teams that need quarterbacks I've already picked at this point if he's there at 7. If you just do the math. Let's get to some calls now, shall we? June, the GM, is first today. Hey, June.
Jake, man, you're being real hard on my boy Shador, and I know where it comes from. You're acting up, but I know where it comes from, and I get it. You're absolutely right. If you're going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, bringing in Shador is crazy. It's crazy. He clearly is the number 2 quarterback. I'm sorry. I don't care who you mentioned, Dart, Shuck, whoever. Sanders is the number 2 quarterback. If he's there at 7, I want us to grab him. We can agree to disagree, guys. But at the end of the day, you all right about that, Jake. I give that 100%. Bringing in getting rid of Rodgers because he's, I don't know, too much to handle, and bringing in Sanders is crazy. That's crazy. If we did that, but what options we have if he slips at 7 and he's there? You know what I'm saying? You got to pull the trigger. You know, after 3 a.m., if you're a lonely guy and you see a fat chick, you know, gives you a ring, the options are low. You got to do what you got to do.
No, you don't. Why do you have to be desperate, June?
Well, if they love him, you grab him. If it's, you know, I agree with that. If you love Sanders, though, you got to grab him at 7.
Yeah, that's different, though. Like, if they love him and they think he's going to be great, sure, take him. But if they're wrong, that's a fireable offense. And if you connect the dots to what's been said about Shador now and what Aaron Glenn apparently wants in his quarterback, I don't necessarily know if that's the best fit. So I have my doubts.
I saw the Todd McShay podcast, and he honestly, but he also said that Sanders didn't do anything, you know, outrageous in the interview and wasn't disrespectful. He just said it felt like as if he was disconnected. And we don't know who were the teams, right? Maybe the team are picking 15, 20th, and in his mind, I'm already going to the Giants. I already spoke to New York. Like, I don't think Sanders is going past 3. I think it's going to go to the Giants. I really do. I think it's going to be a New York Giant. And I think him with Dable, I think it's going to show some people what he's made of. Dable's a good quarterback coach. He had Danny bum-ass dimes to deal with. I think you give a young Sanders with Dable out there in New York, I think he could do a little something his first year, believe it or not.
I mean, he maybe, but like the thing I come back to is like, you're not settling for a quarterback. Like if he's there at 7, you have to take him because you believe he's going to be a franchise quarterback. And like, he's got also,
I'm not the GM. I'll pull the trigger, Jake. I'm desperate.
Yeah, but the Jets aren't desperate. Like, we as fans are desperate for a franchise quarterback. They're in year 1. They don't care about the last 14 years. They don't.
That's true, but it's very hard as a man who's been through a lot of pain to not feel desperation. And you're right, they're not us. But damn it, man, I want something to work. I don't care if they freaking picked up Dixon Hole at number 7. If he comes in and gets busy and gives us what we need, listen. By the way, word is that in the comment when they tested Hole out, that he might have a slight tear in his knee. It might drop his draft stock a little bit back, by the way.
The 27th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select Dixon Hole out of Arizona State. What am I, a mind reader?
Dixon Hole. Now, that's a guy I would take on day 2. If he's there. Pick 42, I'll take Dixon Hole. Now, with Lane hyping him up, he's probably going to go in round 1 now. We saw what happened last year with Knoble. So keep that in mind as well. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Banks writes in, Todd McShay wrote the same type of reports about Jalen Carter during his pre-draft process and see how it turned out from Philly. He went from number 1 to top 10 bias reports. Banks, I don't think you're right at all with this. Jalen Carter fell because he got arrested. Jalen Carter didn't fall because he was disrespectful in interviews with teams. That's not true. Jalen Carter got arrested the week of the combine. That's what happened. That was 2 years ago. Dylan writes in, great job by Dylan on the second show yesterday, folks. For those of you who missed it, trade up to 69 for Dixon Hole. All right. Where do we go from here? Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's update the early poll voting so far. 181 votes have been cast. 66% have voted for Mike D's Nutz thus far over Barbarossa. So D's Nuts with an early lead.
D's Nuts.
Yeah, baby. All right, let's get to more of your calls. Reminder, if you want in on the raffle to gift a channel membership, we'll shout you out, and we'll get you entered for a chance to win a signed Martin helmet, Revis helmet, Maynard helmet, Namath helmet, and just added yesterday, Mawai helmet. Kevin Mawai, Hall of Fame themed raffle for this week's ASMANIAC raffle. Let's say hello to Scott, who's up next. Hey, Scott.
Hey, man. How are you doing? Love your show. Fantastic. Great Jets Nation. Love your characters. But you might as well fast forward to Charles Gorman versus Lane Train because it's just a waste of time. But anyway, just getting to this upcoming draft, just let's keep in mind, this is first-year GM, first-year coach. They are not taking a flyer. First of all, they're not moving up for Cam Ward, who wouldn't have been the fourth best quarterback last year. So there's no way in hell they're doing that. No matter what is said, they're not going to do that, number one. Number two, if Shador falls to 7, perfect opportunity for us to trade back. We have to keep in mind, this is not a Super Bowl team, but there's a lot of talent on this team. And this is the year to fill the roster up. You have a number of opportunities to get D-line, safety. You could really fill the roster up. You get Golden, not the other wide receiver. Golden's the guy to get, but I wouldn't take him at 7. And also, with Warren, I love the kid, but if you can move back to 11 or 12, don't think Dallas might not move up for that running back Genty. There's a good possibility that they love that kid. That's the opportunity to get another second rounder. Build up your draft capital. You got 9 picks this year. And next year is when we go for our quarterback. It's just such a waste. Listen, Jake, I'm a Jet fan, 55 years. I barely remember the Super Bowl. So nobody's gone through more pain than me because I saw the height of it and I've seen the worst of it. But this is the year to fill the damn roster up. I stop with the years of the Warren Sapp miss and the Dan Marino miss. I literally was there with all the fans screaming for Marino when we picked Ken O'Brien. It's so freaking frustrating for the stupidity, the abject stupidity of this franchise. And I'm really in on Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. I just really believe that these guys, that they're, at least Glenn is a Jet. He gets it. He's lived it. He's been at the height. He remembers missing out on, the Super Bowl because of what happened. We were up 10-0 and gave that freaking game away. But I can't hear about these quarterbacks this year. They are not nearly as good as last year. And that's my take. And like I said, go Lane Train and go the Fart Man. One of them's going to win. So, Charles Gorman.
Scott, great call, man. Appreciate the support. Call more, Scott. That was a great call. You'll be in the tournament next year if you call a little more over the next calendar year. Fair points. Look, if you believe in one of these quarterbacks, I think it's different, but I just don't know if they're going to believe in one of these guys. Even if they believe in Ward to be a franchise quarterback, does it make sense to really jettison a lot of assets to go up and get him? Now, if he's there at 7, it's a different story. They need other things on the roster. We understand that, but you need a quarterback. Like the Commanders needed other things too. They were picking second for a reason a year ago. They took Jaden Daniels, and their franchise is now going to be good for years to come. So the great quarterback changes everything. If you think Cam is that guy and he makes it to you, I don't know if he's going to be there. Now, if he's somehow there at 5, then it's an interesting conversation. Can you trade up from 7 to 5 to get a deal done? I'd be more open to that. But, as we sit here right now, I don't think they're going to take a quarterback at 7 because I think Ward's going to be gone, and I still think Sanders is gone too. But if he's not, I don't know if the Jets would take him. I would try and trade out. Get extra picks. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I want to throw this out there to all the Asmaniacs with businesses. We're looking for more sponsors on the channel. March and April historically are 2 of the most viewed months of the entire calendar. We have a couple new sponsors coming on, but I want to throw it out there to everyone for your brands or business. Email me, Asman Jake. We have a draft party that I'm excited to announce in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. We'll have sponsorship opportunities for that. It's going to be awesome. So, asmanjake@gmail. If you want to hear about what we're cooking for your brand or business, info is in the description. It's just my last name, first name, @gmail.com. Dave Brigger writes in, I didn't ask to be in this tournament, but you put me in, and I'll fight to the end. Well, I didn't put you in, Dave. The committee put you in. You belong in this tournament, Dave. You're a valued member of the community. But you have a tough task. You got to go up against the Beast. Are people just going to vote for Brigga because they don't like Beast? Or is the silent Beast majority, perhaps, going to be there for Beastbreaker today? That's the question we don't have the answer to. But we'll know by the end of the day. We will know. It's going to be fascinating. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the standings right now, the poll results in the matchup going on in ASMANIAC Madness, Mike D's Nutz is up 66-35 with 223 votes in so far on today's show. D's Nutz is off to a strong start in his opening round matchup. We'll see if that holds. We know Barbarossa is a fierce competitor. And it's not over until Charles Gorman sings. Or as we say on this show, it's not over until Charles Gorman farts.
Oh, my bad, everybody.
With that said, let's say hello right now on the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline to these nuts. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jake. Good morning, brother.
You're off to a strong start, Mike. You feeling good?
I'm feeling good, man. I just wanted to pop on here. I'm in between meetings at work and just say thank you to everybody that has voted for me. I appreciate you guys so much, man. Much love. Let's just keep it going. Let's keep it going. I know I'm not the biggest Jets take caller, but, I like to pop on and give my 2 cents here and there, but I'm more of a man of the community. So hopefully that pays off in the long run.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike. I mean, I think the people have your back. You're 65%. Strong showing so far.
Let's go, guys. Get them votes up.
There he goes. Mike D's Nuts.
Hey, thank you, Mike D's Nuts, for another gifted membership.
More of your calls right now. Dixon Yass is on the line. Hello, Dixon.
What's up, Jake? How we feeling?
Dixon, I'm feeling great. How are you?
Yo, shout out everyone in the chat. Shador is a no-go. I don't want anything to do with his drama and he's a princess. His dad was great, but he's arrogant. And I know like some people have said we need some arrogance and we need that kick-assery, but it's just, I don't know, dude. He's not. I think he's just too much of a drama queen for what we need right now with the new regime in place. I just don't think we need all that drama after we have drama every year with this team, with this big market. I don't see Shador fitting in right now.
That's part of my point as well. It's just he does bring a lot of attention and drama and Dion, and it's like, does that make sense given what they apparently wanted to move away from with everything that came with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. Now, I did see something yesterday, and it's obviously over because Devontae's released. I just wanted your thoughts on it real quick before I bounce out of here. Let's say they put together a package that was to Tennessee, Aaron, Devontae, the 42nd pick, and a second next year for the first. Would you do it?
Aaron, Devontae, the 42nd pick, and what pick next year?
Yep.
Thanks for the time. I would not make that trade because it can't happen. It's not going to happen. Tennessee is not doing that. Like, they could just sign Rodgers as a free agent. And Devontae now. That was a wild delay, though, Dixon, but I appreciate you calling in. Dixon, apparently no relation to Dixon Hole, the quarterback from ASU. At least that's what I'm told. Bash Chopper in the house. Will Johnson's my top draft choice, even if we trade back. Has potential to be good or even better than Sauce. We can't miss on this. You know, Will Johnson got a lot of buzz, I feel like, a few weeks ago. No one's talking about him anymore. I didn't really follow. Did he not have a good combine or whatever? Like, I feel like we're not hearing a lot about Will Johnson, but he's in play at 7. He's definitely in play at 7. We know Glenn's a former corner. I wouldn't be shocked. Bo says, anyone remember the last arrogant quarterback we had because he won us a Super Bowl? You saying Namath was arrogant? I don't know if Joe was arrogant. I think he was just cool. Is Joe Burrow arrogant or he's just cool, confident? I don't know. For those of you just tuning in, go back and watch what McShay said. Like that's not nothing to me. These are job interviews. You're the CEO of a $1 billion corporation. You're the face of it. I don't like hearing that. JJ wants Shador. He's a winner. Well, I'll tell you what. JJ is never wrong with anything. So if he wants Shador, the Jets now have to take Shador. JJ unretired from the show after all. Remember that, folks. And he's already putting together campaign ads like this.
For those of you who didn't know, a few months back, I had announced my retirement from the Big Asman show. But after today's victory, I have a huge announcement to make. The people, the fans have spoken. I'm coming out of retirement.
The great
I'm back. Big fella, I'll see you in the next round. May the best man win.
He's back! You could tell that was not Gator edited there. That was JJ on his own. But hey, if you guys make campaign videos, I'll play them on the show. That matchup between JJ and Big Fella could be fascinating, huh? In the Chicken Soup region, round of 32. I think Big Fella wipes the floor with him personally, but that's for the voters to decide. More calls right now. Let's say hello to Big Cho Jet. What's up, Big Cho?
What's up, Jake?
Cho, how are we?
Good. I'm calling you live from Rock Hill, South Carolina for the quarterfinals of the South Atlantic Conference from my hotel. We play at 2:30.
Let's go, Big Cho. I'm rooting for you.
Oh yeah, I thought I'd squeeze you in before we left. We're leaving at 11:45, so I wanted to ask you, when is my matchup so I can call in?
When is it? I don't have the exact schedule yet because it's going to depend on the content schedule this week with free agency. But Big Cho, you're in the Hood region, so we're doing 2 shows a day. The Hood region will start tomorrow. We're only doing 1 show on Saturday, so if you do the math, it will probably be like Monday or Tuesday next week. Boomtown could probably give you a better idea in the chat.
Okay. I got a tough matchup because I'm up against a guy that I like. There's some callers that I could probably roast, but he's not one of them because he's so likable.
What's your approach?
Well, I got to get in the lab and figure it out, man. I'm not sure yet.
Well, you're a coach. You got to put together a game plan.
I'm definitely going to do that. I'm not going to come at the guy and try to slice him down. I'm definitely not going to do that. I'm just going to go with, my personality and what I bring to the table. And things of that nature. I'm always wearing Jets gear. I got Jet shoes. I got the whole 9. Matter of fact, I was at the store the other day and I had a Ken O'Brien jersey on, and the guy stopped me because he was a Jets fan and he took a picture of my Jet shoes.
Maybe you just like stick the phone up your nose, like even further than David T does.
Why do you say that?
Well, that's what he does.
Oh, nah. He hadn't been doing that lately, though.
He always calls in with the phone very close to his face. Maybe you're trying to out David T him.
Nah. I don't want to do that.
Well, let me bring on a tournament expert right now that maybe could provide a winning game plan. He's never lost anything in his life. He'll be the first one to tell you that.
Knockouts don't matter if you land enough jabs. You can do music.
Hey,
what's up, Gary?
What's up, Joe? I don't know where that came from. I've never lost anything in my life. I'd be the first to tell you. No. What's funny though is I was saying months ago that Shedeur Sanders is not the one, and Jake's like, "You don't know that. It's a coin toss. You don't know that." And now he's like, "I wouldn't touch him." It's like, yeah, I was telling you this months ago. I also told you last year that Quinn Ewers is doo doo, but whatever. So how can I help you, Joe? How can I help you?
Well, I'm going against David T, very likable guy. I wish I was going against some of these other guys because I could hit some of the negative points about them. But
got David T. You got David T.
He's real likable, so I'm not sure how to game plan for him other than just talking about my personality and what I bring to the table, my outfits, things of that nature.
Well, David T seems to like the sauce a little bit, so maybe get him look it up a little bit before and have him, have him sink his own ship, kind of thing. He's always drinking. What is he drinking? What is he always drinking, David T?
I don't know.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Coach Joe.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I've been listening to the show and you got on, and thank you for the compliment that I'm very likable. But I really admire what you do. Being a coach and doing for the kids and everything. And on the reverse thing, you're a very likable person, also. So,
sir,
I'm not gonna, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? I guess we're two likable guys that, I guess we're supposed to be in competition.
Yeah, competition is one thing, but like I said before, you're a likable guy, and I have nothing against you. I'm not going to badmouth you or anything of that nature. I'm just going to bring what my traits are and go from there. I'm not going to badmouth you at all.
Hey, Coach, if you want to try to slice me up and badmouth me, you go right ahead, buddy. I know it's all in fun. It is all in fun.
Can't do it, man. You're too likable, man.
Thank you.
I like you too much.
Yeah, I like you too, Coach. Like I said, I really, the fact that you're, a college coach, basketball, and automatically, you're doing for kids and all that kind of stuff. So, you got the upper hand on me right there, buddy.
I don't know, 15 seed and a 2 seed. I have to be like Richmond when they took down Syracuse back in the 80s.
Well, hey, anything's possible.
That's true. Hopefully we can get a big W today. We play at 2:30 against Coker. Big game.
Hey, good luck to your team. I'll even go to the extent of praying for you guys to win.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? You get to pick a one to make the show walk. Who's the king? Average.
We've had rumbles. That was a nice off. Who's nicer, David T or Joe? Amazing. The two nicest people. All right, let's bring back our expert on everything to get his thoughts on everything.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
Fireball, Gary. That's what David
Fireball.
says.
I could not think of that. A Fireball whiskey. I could not think of Fireball. So maybe get him a little drunk and let him sink his own ship. You know what I'm saying?
That might help him, though. David T. drunk on the air.
It could. I don't really.
It's like Charles farting. Like, that might be a superpower.
It's going to take an electric call to beat him, and that was not an electric call. So maybe just let him make a bunch of unforced errors, and hopefully, that can do it for you. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat David T. if it picks to anyone. So I think
he's a 2 seed for a region. It's supposed to be tough for the 15 seed.
And it is. I would say, try to make him commit some unforced errors and capitalize on that.
Yep.
I've never lost anything about. Where do you get this stuff? Where do you make this stuff up?
You're never wrong about anything. You know the answer to all. That's you.
It is funny because I've been saying for months, Shedeur Sanders is not the one. Like I said, you'll wake up 3 years from now and have the 22nd best quarterback in football. Congratulations. I've said that half the time.
Differently, take him. I'm not a scout, so I don't know if that's true or not.
But you've watched football, right? You've watched football for like most of your life.
Yes, and I think Cam Ward, from my untrained, non-scout eye, is the best quarterback in the class. And then after that, I really don't know. And with that said, I'm not really focused on the evaluation. It's more so the last name, what they apparently moved away from Rodgers for, and then what McShay is saying there on that clip I played. I think is not nothing.
I do love Spencer Rattler, Surf City. I do.
You do. And you wouldn't take Jaden Daniels if he was there at 7 this year. So continue.
Yeah. Can you name another quarterback who was 6'3", 180, who wasn't injury prone? Because I can't. But
if Jaden Daniels is there at 7 this year, you're not taking him?
I'm not taking a guy that size in the first round. It's too dangerous. It's too risky.
I can't.
It's RG3 all over again. It's RG3 all over. Okay. You see, I say, can you name a guy 6'3", 180 who plays quarterback like that, takes hits, runs up the middle?
What's Lamar Jackson's height and weight?
He's bigger than that. He's 215. He's got 30 pounds. He's got 30 pounds on him.
So
Jaden Daniels is a little guy.
Jaden Daniels was great this year. The best rookie quarterback season ever. You wouldn't take the chance? Okay, he might deal with some injuries during his career. That doesn't negate his greatness.
No criticism have I ever laid upon. And did I expect him to be this good? Of course not. No, I know.
Also, where are you getting 180 from? I'm seeing 210 and 6'4".
I got his draft scout. I pulled up his draft scout from last year. It says 6'3", 180.
Is it not possible he's added weight?
30 pounds. I mean, look at him. You watch him play, right? He's the littlest guy.
I watched Lamar Jackson play. Lamar's 6'2", 205.
Jaden Daniels is the littlest guy on the field. And Lamar Jackson doesn't run up and take hits like that. Lamar Jackson gets out of bounds. This guy plays like Derrick Henry.
Dude, if Jaden Daniels is there at 7, you're taking him. He just had the greatest rookie quarterback season ever. Did you think Drew Brees would be your prototypical franchise quarterback or Baker Mayfield?
Brees doesn't run up and take hits like that. You can be smaller, like Russell Wilson, like Lamar Jackson, like Drew Brees, but you got to be smart about it. You can't try to drop a shoulder into linebackers.
If Jaden Daniels is there,
I've answered the question. I'm not taking a guy that's injury prone in the first round. I can't do it. It's too dangerous.
It never changed. What else you got?
Yeah. Now you've never addressed anything that I said. Name another quarterback 6'3", 180 who hasn't got injury prone. You can't. That wasn't injury prone. You can't do it. That's why I'm not taking him.
I don't think he's injury prone.
And he turns.
I don't think he's injury prone.
He was injured this year. He was injured in college.
Okay, was he injured this year? He played through his injury.
He got knocked out of 2 games.
I got banged up, like a lot of quarterbacks do.
Yeah, okay. No, he made it through the season. And could he make it through next season? He could. Is he going to make it through 5 seasons? I can't see it.
Okay, even Tom Brady missed an entire season when he tore his ACL week 1.
He did play 20 healthy ones, though. He did play 20
so
healthy
we don't know what Jaden Daniels' career is going to look like.
So you have to make an assessment. Could he stay healthy?
And my assessment is he is such a damn good quarterback that I will deal with the possibility of him maybe dealing with some injuries at some point in his career. He won a Heisman in college too, Gary. It's not like he's just a kid. Well, RG3 dealt with injuries that had a lot to do with him trying to go back into a playoff game that he had no business being in, playing on a torn ACL.
He was injury prone in college. He was very small and very undersized. He took a lot of hits, and he had one amazing year, and he got hurt. I'm not saying he's going to have the same trajectory as RG3, but everything you're saying about Jaden Daniels, you can say the same exact thing about RG3.
You have the wrong listing on him, too, by the way. I've now checked 2 sites that have him at 6'4", 210, so I'm not quite sure where you're getting your information from.
Where you get it? 210 makes me feel a little better. That's.
Oh my God! You wouldn't take him at 7? He just had the greatest rookie quarterback season of all time.
But you keep saying the same thing. So did RG3 at that time. Would you take RG3 in the first round if you got to redraft? Yes or no?
Well, do I know how his career plays out?
No, you get his first year, and I say, would you take him in the first round?
Off his first year, absolutely. No one could have predicted.
How would that have worked out?
There's risk with any player, though, Gary. Like that's any player. Any player. What do you mean?
And you have to calculate risk. If a dude is built
and it was worth
Allen
the risk.
or
It was
Andrew
worth
Luck,
the risk. It didn't work out. It was worth it for the Jets to acquire Aaron Rodgers. It didn't work out. It made sense. Sometimes you can make the right decision and it leads to the wrong result. The Commanders, or the Redskins at the time, had no issue drafting RG3 when they did. It's unfortunate his career was ruined with injuries, but that doesn't mean the same thing's going to happen to Jaden Daniels.
It doesn't mean the same thing, but you have to assess risk.
Right. I'm assessing it. I'm assessing the risk. He's worth the 7th pick in the draft.
Then we assess it differently. You're assessing it purely on talent and upside. I'm assessing it on I can't see this guy surviving.
My franchise, Gary. I'm trying to build my franchise. If Jaden Daniels is there at 7, especially in this draft where the quarterbacks aren't great, I'm taking him. That's logic. That's common sense.
I agree. And if your quarterback's hurt all the time, how are you going to build your franchise?
Okay.
That's logic, Jake. Right. That's logic, Jake.
There's
see, my logic is guys, he got hurt in college, Jake. That is the evidence.
So he's the first player to get hurt in college? There's guys that never get hurt in college. They get hurt all the time.
RG3 got hurt in college. Chad Pennington got hurt in college. And you know what? They were hurt throughout the time in the NFL, too.
You never know. You never know.
Right. That's why you have to assess
guess you never had any injury problems in college. Lamar Jackson. And then he came to the NFL. He dealt with injuries 2 years in a row where he wasn't able to finish the season healthy. And then guess what? He's now won 2 MVPs since then, or one and should have won another one.
He's got 2. He should have won 3. He's got
right.
2.
So like Gary, like what are you talking about?
But then he was taking the last pick in the first
L,
draft.
dude. Just take the L.
Okay, what did I assess? What did I assess wrong on Jaden Daniels? What did I misassess?
That you wouldn't take him 7th overall if he
was not a misassess. See, that's what I'm saying. You can't actually make a football argument of what I misassessed on him. All you can say is he had a great season. We all know he had a great season.
Right.
Nothing I ever knocked on the guy was that he wasn't going to be good at quarterback. It was that he was too small and he's going to get injured.
Do you think
I never said he wasn't good?
Okay, Gary. So if he misses a couple games every year, that's a problem? Like Tua averages 13.
Hang on.
Tua averages 13 and a half starts per year, right? If Jaden Daniels, who is way better than Tua, averages that, you don't think he's worth
if he's giving me
13
pick? If he's giving me 13 healthy games a year,
which is what Tua on average has done in his career. 13.5.
Tua's a lot bigger. Tua's a lot bigger and a lot more built than. But if he's giving me 13,
we're talking about concussions with Tua, not like lower body injuries or rib injuries.
So Jaden Daniels is
you also have the wrong
risk.
weight on the guy. You have the wrong weight and the wrong height on the guy. So your entire argument makes no sense.
Okay, so Jaden Daniels is a well-built guy. That's what you're saying. He's a big, sturdy guy. And okay, I see where you got 6'4", 110. You got that from Google. Okay.
I got that from his Pro Football Reference page, his Wikipedia, and NFL.com scouting report.
Okay. All right. It's saying, okay, no, he does not weigh 180. He weighs 210. So somewhere along the line, someone in college, I guess he weighed 180. And now he's listed at 210.
Oh my
God. I just Googled. Okay, so he's a big, strong guy that's not going to get injured, except he's gotten injured before. He got knocked out of 2 games this year.
Any quarterback can get injured. Anyone. Aaron Rodgers never had
now you assess.
He ruptured his Achilles on the 4th play of the Jets season.
And now you assess the risk. Do you think Andrew Luck and Jaden Daniels are going to respond to hits the same way? Probably not. Do you think Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels are going to respond to hits the same way? No, because one guy's built like a tank and one guy's built like a basketball player.
Okay, I'm trying to find a franchise quarterback. There's risk involved with all these guys.
So that's why you have to calculate the risk.
And I'm calculating my risk because I'm not a moron and I'm going to take Jaden Daniels 7th.
You might be. You might be. You told me Shedeur Sanders may be great, right? He might be.
He might be great.
I told you Quinn Ewers sucked last year. And you're like, he's the first rounder. Quinn Ewers sucks.
Jaden Daniels is already great. That's what you're not acknowledging.
Calm down. He had a great season.
He had the greatest rookie quarterback season of all time.
And the year before that, CJ Stroud had the greatest quarterback any rookie's ever had. Is CJ Stroud great? Is he great?
At 7,
I
would take CJ Stroud.
Is CJ Stroud great?
Gary, if CJ Stroud, yes or no,
CJ Stroud great?
Yes or no? Yes or no? If CJ Stroud is available at 7 this year for the Jets, would you take him? Yes or no?
CJ Stroud, I would take. Yes, I would take. Is CJ Stroud great?
I think he's very good. I don't think we know
He already is great. He had the greatest season any rookie quarterback ever had at that point.
Right.
That was just your argument for Jaden Daniels.
Okay. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a great quarterback in this league. Let's say he's very good, though. He's still worth the 7th pick in the draft.
Okay, what if he gets hurt all the time?
What's all the time? How many games is he missing a year? I gave you the Tua example, and you're like, oh, if he plays 13 and a half games a year.
He's got Pennington's career.
I would still take him. I would still take him.
Would you be alive for Pennington? He missed half the game, bro. You can't win that way.
Last week.
He missed half the game, bro. He missed like 10 games a season. You can't win consistently without a quarterback.
When he played in his career, 02, 04, 06,
he was great.
08.
What about all the other years? What are the years he didn't play?
Okay, Gary.
The guy won comeback player of the year 3 times. You can't have a quarterback missing 8 games. You can't win that way.
I'm trying to win the Super Bowl and make the playoffs. It was worth the risk. You're evaluating the risk. The Jets have sucked at quarterback. So if they draft a guy that unfortunately has to miss some time, you have to deal with it because you're fucked if you don't do it.
How much time is he missing? If he's missing half the season,
I just gave you the Tua example.
I gave you the. If he's Tua, I can take him. If he's Pennington, I can't.
Okay, great.
If you're going to tell me he's going to have the same career as Pennington, and he's going to miss 8 games a year.
He's better than Pennington. You think Jaden Daniels is not going to be a better quarterback than
I didn't say he was better or worse than Pennington. Like, Jake, this is the worst case of scatterbrain I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
I've made one argument.
The chat. There's not a soul.
I don't care what the chat. I don't care what the chat says, Jake. Make an argument, but you can't. All you can say is Jaden Daniels is good because you don't know how to assess football players. Yes, he's very good. He is very good. Your assessment on Shedeur Sanders was he's accurate and can make good throws. Thank you.
I'm not a scout.
Thank you, Jake. You've watched football, though, right? You got eyes. And you can watch football, correct? You've watched a lot of football in your 20s.
Keep spouting everything. That's not what I'm saying. I make points to you, then you say you could never argue the points, and you accuse me.
You couldn't. I said I wouldn't take him because he's too small. And you're like, he's fantastic. Yes, but I think he's going to get injured. No one ever argued he wasn't fantastic, Jake.
Yeah,
so you're arguing against yourself here.
No. You're arguing against yourself. You're coming up with a fake
No.
argument.
I've made one point that you've never addressed. My point is he's built like Kevin Durant and runs like Derrick Henry, right? That was my point. And you keep saying he's great. I understand my concern. My only concern about Jaden Daniels is that he's too small.
Okay,
he's
I'm
going to get hurt.
too about it, Gary. But guess what? He's going to overcome his height and weight issues that you seemingly think he has.
It's really just the weight issue.
Because you were operating that he was 30 pounds under what he actually is.
What the actual weight is isn't really relevant. He's a small guy that takes big hits.
Gary? How about this for a conversation? Yes or no? If he's there at 7, would you take him? You said no. That's the end of the argument. That's it. We're done. We're done.
Yeah, we've already gone over that 100 times, though.
So there's nothing more to argue then. We've covered all ground. That's it. You have your points. I made mine.
Right.
I think there's a soul that agrees with you that they wouldn't take Jaden Daniels.
I don't care what the people in the chat think. I didn't wake up this morning trying to impress the chat who plays fantasy football and doesn't know anything about football. It was never my point. I didn't wake up this morning saying, boy,
I think you did, actually.
Random people in the chat.
I was told you did. I heard you got out of bed.
You were misinformed. The same people that told you Quinn Ewers was going to be a first-round pick and that Quinn Ewers was good probably told you that. Okay? So you're getting bad information.
First-round pick. There were people saying he was going to be a first-round pick. Carson Beck was going to be a first-round pick. And I used that as an example saying next year's class is automatically going to be better is not a sure thing. That's all I've said on that.
I keep on the show every day during the season and say, Quinn Ewers sucks. Don't take that guy. He goes every day saying that, right?
I agree.
Watch the guy play every game since his
I wouldn't take him in the first round, Gary. What's your point? We're talking about Jaden Daniels at 7. You're saying you wouldn't take him at number 7. I think that's a batshit crazy opinion, and so does the chat. That's all I'm saying.
That's good for the chat, right? He would have said the same thing about RG3, but you can't address that. RG3 was everything you've just made Jaden Daniels to be, and he played one season and was never healthy again. Like I don't understand why you don't think undersized guys could get hurt. I don't understand that.
Gary, thank you for your time.
Now look what you've done, Gary. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
Mimosa, thank you for your service. 10 raffle entries with this $50 bounty to send Gary to the hole. You're sick, Gary. Sick. Unreal. Juan Suarez says, my man Jake. Juan, thank you. God, I just like, he's going to get hurt. Any quarterback could get hurt. Any of them. Aaron Rodgers got hurt. He had no injury history. Missed the entire season. Tom Brady got hurt in week 1 in 08. Had no injury history. Missed the entire season. Peyton Manning had no history of injuries. He missed a full year. It happens. You think the Ravens regret Lamar Jackson? There were 2 seasons that ended with him not being able to play because he wasn't healthy. One, they missed the playoffs. One, he couldn't start a playoff game. You think they regret picking him? You deal with it. There's a risk involved with any quarterback potentially getting hurt. Is Jaden maybe more susceptible than other quarterbacks because of his height and weight, which not even is not as small as Gary thought? Sure, but to not take him at 7, are you out of your mind? 7 in a bad quarterback class, and you wouldn't take him. And Daniels gave you no reason to think that he's just going to be injury plagued his whole career. He played through the injury he dealt with this year and balled out. But I love the banter, Gary. I do. I appreciate it. J-Boy says, now that was some entertainment. Big fella with a super chat. Jake, I'm on the side of clapping seals with that take. LOL, that was nuts. That's Gary, man. He is Gary. Mad Will, that was a CTE take by Gary. Jara says that was good radio while driving. I shouldn't be dropping F-bombs because I'm on the radio and I can't do that on the radio, but on YouTube I can. So I apologize for the language, but I was fired up. Mimosa, who sent Gary to the hole, says, Gary, go vacuum. Low key, Mimosa, if you start calling next year, we got to get you in a first-round matchup against Gary. Or maybe Mimosa will be such a great caller. That's a Final Four matchup. Scott says, can we do most annoying caller ever contest? We can. Gator says, anyone who wants a campaign video can email me a 10 to 30-second selfie video, and I'd be glad to create you one. Just ask, baby. GatorMcCluskeySports@gmail.com. Gator is lending his services to the campaign. Leon says, if only Jake showed that kind of anger against the dirtbag Colts mascot. I was assaulted, man. All right. My lawsuit with the NFL is ongoing after that. I was attacked.
Yes.
Jarrow, Jake, I saw your northern aggression come out. Great line, Jarrow. JJ says, what would the show be without Gary? Oh, I love Gary. I think his takes are nuts sometimes. I have no ill will towards Gary. We argue all the time. There was one time, in fact, we got into it on the moon.
Would you take Robert Griffin III again in the first round?
I mean, at what point?
Yes
Same argument,
no,
by
Jake,
the way.
Just yes or this is not a preamble. It's not filibuster. It's not Spurs about 50 things. Yes or no? Would you take? There you go.
Second. Oh my God, dude. Incredible. Update on ASMANIAC Madness. D's Nuts is up 70-30 with 362 votes that have been counted. No one has gifted a membership yet during this show. I want to shout that out. We've gotten some great super chats. $20 or more will get you in the raffle. Mimosa had a 50 spot. The Bounty Gary, that's 10. But if you want in on the Curtis Martin helmet, the Revis helmet, the Maynard helmet, the Namath helmet, and just added yesterday, for those of you tuning in, the Mawai signed helmet, gift away, and we'll shout you out, and we'll get you in the raffle. More calls right now. Let's say hello right now to a first-time caller on this show, but he's a frequent caller on the Bobby Midnight program. Gary King is on the line. Hello, Gary.
Hey, Jake. I just want to say I'm a big fan of your show, and your show definitely saved my Jets fandom.
I appreciate that, Gary, and it's nice to talk to a Gary who probably would take Jaden Daniels at 7 if he was there this year, right?
Yep, I would.
Just wanted to get that on the record. Thank you very much.
No problem.
What's on your mind, Gary? What should the Jets do with the 7th pick?
I mean, it's whatever the front office wants. At this point, I got to give them a chance, even though I kind of wasn't big on hiring Aaron Glenn because he's a first-time head coach. I kind of agree on you. I kind of would have rather the like experienced head coach and GM.
Yep. Do you go by GK3?
Oh yeah, I've had that nickname for almost 10 years.
I like it.
Thank you.
How long you been a Jet fan?
Since 2012.
Really?
Yep.
So
And
you don't remember what playoff football is?
I remember a little bit before I became a fan, but like that was when I wasn't really into like sports in general at the time.
Mm-hmm. So what'd you think of that Gary call, Gary, from one Gary to another?
I thought it was interesting for sure. I mean, we'll have to have our own opinion, but I mean, not taking Jaden Daniels with the 7th pick of this year's draft. Come on.
I agree, Gary. Now, do you think that Gary ruined the name Gary for all Garys out there, or you could look past it?
I can look past it.
I see. What else is on your mind?
Nothing really. I just wanted to try and call in and see how it goes because I never.
So far, so good, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
What's on the agenda today?
I plan on just doing my usual thing. Just go to the gym after the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you work? Are you in school?
I'm currently trying to find a job, and but I'm thinking about going back to school.
Where did you go to school?
I graduated from high school, and I went to high school in New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey, born and raised.
Love it.
And yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you, Gary. What do you do? Maybe one of my listeners has a job for you. We got Charles Gorman a job offer. He just couldn't take it.
Oh, one of the listeners has a job offer?
Well, that happened on the show a couple months back. Chef Kevin offered Charles Gorman a job at his restaurant.
Oh, nice.
What type of job are you looking for?
Probably still looking for like a part-time job, and maybe then I might go to trade school. We'll see.
All right. Well, you let me know if you want me to try and find a job for you using the platform of the ASMANIACs.
Okay, we'll do.
All right. Anything else on your mind, Gary?
Just getting ready for free agency. Hopefully, we make some good moves. Hopefully.
Do you eat a lot of butter like Gary Boxing does?
Not as much butter, but I like butter.
You ever just chomp on some butter sticks?
I've had like those little butters at the restaurant by itself.
You just take it out of the packet and just slurp it down?
Yeah.
Nice. How do you feel about the moon landing? Real or fake?
That's a good question. I'm like 50-50 on it.
I see. Do you have any strong opinions on anything?
Not really.
I see.
Like I'm kind of like just laid back, kind of just.
You seem chill.
His opinions, yeah.
Now let me ask you this: is Zach Wilson a good quarterback?
No.
All right, you got an opinion on that? That's good. How about Jaden Daniels?
Jaden Daniels had a really good rookie year, and I hope for his sake and his career and he continues to be good, because at least he's not in the AFC.
June writes in, this guy is definitely a definite future tournament player. Could you see yourself in the tournament next year, Gary?
If I call more often, then yeah. I could probably see myself. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think
you got a chance.
Sorry it took a while for me to call. I just wanted to be prepared.
Great call, Gary. Call back more, all right?
Will do.
Ladies and gentlemen, first-time caller, Gary King III, GK3. Excellent job. I got some good news for you too, Gary. The big fella gifted 5 channel memberships And he wrote, congrats on GK3 first call. My entries go to him. I'm giving you both entries, big fella. Very nice of you. We'll give 5 to GK3 in the raffle. Big fella gifting 5. Ladies and gentlemen, a bunch of you just gifted. Here we go. We'll get to the names from the big fella, but first, let's give a huge shout out to Janice Jett, who became the first Asmaniac to gift memberships during the show. She has a chance to win a signed Mawai helmet, a signed Namath helmet, a signed Maynard helmet, a signed Revis helmet, and a signed Martin helmet. These 5 listeners are now channel members, courtesy of Janice, Jacob Benuelos, Alex, Steve V, Matt P. Congrats. Robert Heenan, the other name there. It just snuck through from Janice's 5. Let's get to Big Fella's memberships now. Big Fella, fresh off his victory earlier this week in Asmaniac Madness, he gifted 5 channel memberships to Johnny Danks, KT, Rob L., Rex Ryan, what's up, Rex? And Trice G, all receiving memberships. Congrats. And lastly, how about Juan Suarez checking in the raffle? 5 memberships.
Free stuff.
Juan Suarez, Mike Dems, Joe Santamarina, Derek Smallwood, Christopher Wheeler, and JZ Jets fan. Congratulations to everyone who just got a membership there. And thank you to Janice, Big Fella, and Juan for supporting the channel, allowing us to continue to do these awesome raffles. All right, more calls right now. If your name's Gary and you want to call in, we'll put you in front of the line. In the meantime, we'll say hello to Johnny Boy. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, what's going on, Jake? How you holding up this morning, man?
Johnny, how are you?
Chilling, brother, man. Seeing Gary get you all wowed up. It's pretty funny, man. That's why he's the number 2 seed, right?
That's why he's one of the greats.
Yeah, him and JJ, the only cast that I've ever seen you where you're about to literally throw them damn headphones on the like that. But I was calling in regards to shout out to these nuts, of course, right? Hope man and Briga too later on. But
how come your team Briga over Beastbreaker?
I like Briga, man. Briga's an OG. I remember him from when he stood up to B-Mac and put B-Mac in his place as well. So I don't know. I've always liked Briga, man. I don't like Beast Break's like landing strip. That's really about it, to be honest with you. So
I see.
Yeah. But hey, so essentially, right, with them getting rid of Devontae and then Lazard, did the Jets kind of like show their hand, right? Essentially what you think they're going to do in the draft. I mean, I think now they're going to go an offensive weapon. So if the Tyler Warren cat is there, is that one that we go, or the McMillan choice? Because, I mean, now the wide receiving core is super, super thin in regards to it. Or if Sanders is there, trade back, kind of like what you were saying yesterday with the Saints and possibly pick up some more capital and get some of them other wide receivers in the later rounds as well. Just wanted to get your thoughts in regards to that. I think they show their hand. I think we're going offensive weapon.
I don't believe they showed their hand. I think it was always going to be Devontae getting released and Lazard getting released too. They're not going to be able to trade him. I'd be shocked. So I don't. They might take an offensive weapon. Like I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think what they did with Devontae and soon to be Lazard impacts that at all. In fact, we haven't even had free agency yet. What if they sign a couple of receivers in free agency? Then that changes things too.
I mean, the cat from. I mean, I don't know, man. That free agency class is kind of bad, ain't it?
It is, but they're going to sign someone. They're not just going to start going to the draft with only Malachi Corley and Xavier Gibson behind Garrett. So they're going to need to sign someone. And then I'm not saying they don't draft a receiver. It just doesn't mean they have to do it at 7. They have a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick. They could take a receiver there.
Yeah, that's why the Warren kid is appealing. But this just draft is so deep with tight ends right now as well that they could get something like that later on and potentially bolster back up the defensive lineman. I'm just so torn on which way I would like them to go. I mean, I'm on if they can trade back, of course, the team, because I think you stated it before in regards to it has to be a quarterback that has to be there for a team to essentially move up in the draft. And if Sanders is falling to us, that might be the one. So I don't know. But yeah, I appreciate you, man. Keep doing your stuff. And hey, man, ASMANIAC Madness was just dope, man. That song is catchy as crap, by the way. When you were arguing with Gary, that's the song in my head that kept playing in the background. So
what song?
ASMANIAC Madness.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That one, bro. It's catchy as crap, man.
Hey,
So,
you give credit to the guy who makes it all happen, baby.
yeah,
The great Gator McCluskey.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? ASMANIAC Madness. You get to pick the ones who make the show rock. Who's the king? Average you.
All right, more of your calls right now. A lot of you still on hold, so please be patient. I promise we'll get to everyone. Let's say hello to Indy Jets, who's next. Hey, Indy.
Hey, Jake. How does Gary sit here and judge a guy's weight? And yet, wasn't he a big Brock Bowers fanboy? And Brock Bowers is a 225, 230 tight end. I mean, that's just in his world, Brock Bowers is going to be an injury prone tight end because he doesn't weigh enough.
I
mean, make it make sense that he's such a huge Brock Bowers guy, but Brock Bowers isn't the typical tight end weight, right?
Indy, I can't use logic with Gary. I don't know.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. So, as much as he was a Brock Bowers guy, but, your typical tight end is 240, 250.
Gary's saying that Bowers is 240.
Well, the NFL got him at 230. So, so what is that? I'm going to go by those stats,
I'd put Gary on with you, but Mimosa sent him to the hole, so someone's gonna have to pay the bounty post
Yeah,
bail,
let's not do that.
to bring him back. But yeah,
even 240 is pretty light. I mean, that's on the very light end, and so that's you. How are you judging, a guy based on his weight? What did Drew Brees weigh? I mean, Brees didn't weigh. I mean, he wasn't a 240-pound quarterback.
Baker Mayfield is not the biggest quarterback in stature either.
But you're right. You can't talk logic. So I just wanted to point that out that, Brock Bowers, as big of a fanboy as he was, is a very light tight end. So in his world, Brock Bowers is probably going to be an injury prone tight end. Probably will never make his at the end of his career, end of his first contract. He'll be out. I don't know. But
like Gypsy notes, Bowers got hurt 3 times this year. Yeah, would you not take Bowers? Good point.
Right. So that's all I wanted. I tried to catch it right at the end of Gary's, but a lot of people watching. But so you're right though. I'm trying to make too much sense of things, and we're talking Gary. So
how's the Lowe's parking lot treating you, Indy?
Fantastic. Yeah, I didn't get enough lumber. Yesterday, so I'm getting ready to go in again today.
I like it. And your region's coming up. The Hood region, it starts tomorrow on the show. How are you feeling about your matchup against Neil?
Well, the way the schedule was laid out, we were going to be meeting on Sunday, but I think you've got a wedding to go to. So does that postpone it till Monday morning?
Correct. Yeah, it goes in order when we do shows. So if there's a show I'm doing in March, unless it's like a breaking news show and I'm doing like my 3rd show on the day, and then I'll have to figure out if we're going to do a tournament matchup there, because we're gonna have free agency that's gonna cause emergency streams as always. But plan for Monday AM. You'll start the week with your matchup against Neil.
I think that Neil's one of the OGs, and he's the 17-0 guy every year. I think the only thing that I've got going for me right now is I take care of my pets, and I'm not giving my dog cancer. I don't know. Other than that, I don't have much else going.
Well, I'll tell you what, Indy, you're a fierce competitor, and it's going to be a hell of a matchup.
But we'll see. It'll have a good time. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
appreciate you guys.
Indy Jets checking in. days before his ASMANIAC Madness match.
It's time for ASMANIAC Madness. Who will cut the nets down as the top ASMANIAC for 2025? Some of you don't even care, but we do. Let's get to it.
All right, the tentative schedule was just sent to me by Boomtown, our committee chairman, who's done a great job helping us stay organized with this because it is a massive upbringing. I got to update the results every day. I get the graphics from Gator. I got to put them in a slide and get the brackets all set. So it takes a small village to put on this tournament. So I can't thank the committee enough for their help with all this. So here's what I have for the tentative schedule. Now, these are subject to change based on the Jets or, last minute radio responsibilities, whatever. But you guys know I typically do 2 shows a day during the week. So here's the upcoming schedule. Right now we're doing D's Nutz and Barbarossa this afternoon, Beastbreaker and Briga. Tomorrow, that's Thursday, Cheats Fan and Bijan. Afternoon show, Weed versus Rob. Friday, Nate versus Yeti. Friday afternoon, Castro versus Raven. Saturday AM, Leany Luppy. No show Sunday. I'm the best man at a wedding. Monday morning, Neil versus Indy. Second show Monday, which might honestly be right after the first show because legal tampering, I think, starts at noon. Mike versus Nick T. And by the way, the show Monday, I don't think it might not start till probably noon because I got to go back from Long Island to the city. So I'll post in the Discord for Neil and Indy to know when we're going live. And then we're going to get Mike and Nick T that day, David T and Big Cho. Next Tuesday in the morning, Bobby Midnight and Black Gypsy starts the Butter region in the afternoon that day. Now, this is tentative. Obviously, you can see the rest of the week outlined there. So just to give everyone a little idea on the schedule, Boom will post this in the Discord too, so everyone can stay up to date. And I've been updating everyone on the standings and everything since this tournament started. Join the Patreon if you're in the tournament. All right, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're trying to win this thing and you're not a Patreon member. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Damien with a super chat. Confidence intimidates them. He's unfazed by doubt. Is this Gary or Shador Sanders we're talking about? I'm guessing you mean Shador. I get it, Damien, but I don't like what I heard McShay say about how these interviews went. I don't like it. You've done nothing in the NFL yet. Be a professional. GTA writes in, if the ASMANIACs had a pickup football game, would be a really fun idea. Who would you want on your roster? We actually did a segment on this earlier this year or last year, whenever it was. I think Boomtown actually put together the team. So, Boom, if you have that, let GTA know. Gary King says, Jake, thanks for taking my call. Call back anytime, Gary. Great first call. More calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the campaign for Beastbreaker has paid for more airtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, vote for the Beast. You know why? Because I'm a man's man. I'm a man's man, and let me just say this. 5 times I went back-to-back 5 different times. I've singled 4 titles in my illustrious career. 3 Triple Crowns, 2 Grand Slams, a Hall of Famer. I fit in like the likes of Terry Funk, Dory Funk, Ric Flair, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, Gene Kaniski, and many of the other greats. And don't let my hair fool you. I'm bigger, I'm badder, I'm smarter. I'm not fat, but I'm a man's man, and I'm gonna tell it like it is. Vote for the Beast, and you'll see the difference between facts. Let's get some more, ladies. We're gonna work out today. Get those goddamn kinks out of my back.
Already.
What are you doing, man?
You're blocked. Your day has just begun with you. I'm coming. Get that ass, boy. Get ready. Get ready. Top guys.
Dave Berg, I'm coming for you today, kid. Don't be surprised if I ordered enough tanks to blow your sorry ass right out of the water. And to all the crybabies who are for Dave Berger, your doomsday annihilation beyond the apocalypse is coming. I'm bringing a fucking war zone with me. It will not be no stopping me. So be afraid what you wish for. And the winner of that Mike D's Nuts versus Barbarossa, there is going to be some surprises coming your way. I already talked to the UN. I'm getting the French army. I'm getting the Swiss, extra German power. I'm adding Polak and I'm adding Russian power. There's going to be a 5-way annihilation, almost kind of like a 5G annihilation of the apocalyptic war. No mercy on the battlefield. But for all you bastards who are going for Briga, you're all going to get it. And don't be surprised if I come knocking on your door, kicking your ass. You're next, Briga. Lights out.
Wow. What a matchup this afternoon, folks. Beast versus Briga. Get your popcorn ready. Man. Well, what a campaign team that Beastbreaker has, huh? Look at this guy. All right. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Kyle Clifton, who's next. Hey, Kyle.
Never boring with Gary.
No.
Never boring.
Never will be.
The one thing I will say, though, is, people are going to take Jaden Daniels with the idea of coaching some of the physicality when he runs out of him. Like, he's not always they're going to have an eye on him not being, the Derrick Henry of quarterbacks somewhere down the road. Like when Mahomes dropped, people probably said, he's he can't function within a system. He's a bit of a cowboy, and he fell a little bit. And then Andy Reid and Brett Veach were like, let's bring him in here because I think we can work with this guy and make him work within the confines of our system. And they were right. So, for them, the juice was worth the squeeze. And, as authoritarian sometimes as Gary's taste can be, he's probably right. He probably wouldn't take him at 7. But I think the rest of us probably
No, I
would
believe
think,
Gary. See, like some people like make up takes for reaction. I think Gary
oh, he
genuinely
believes it.
what
There's
he
no way.
says. Yeah.
There's no way he doesn't believe it. But there's we all think he's going to put on a little bit of lean muscle, and there's not a world without risk. Like if the Jets knew that Aaron Rodgers was going to blow out his Achilles in the 4th game, they wouldn't have been involved in the trade that was going to involve first-round picks. potentially. So like that's the kind of the world we live in. As far as Kiper goes and his take, I've been watching him for over 30, probably about 30, 35 years now. I've always kind of respected him. I don't know where he's coming from with this Shador take. Comparing Shador to Peyton Manning is like comparing dishwater to Pappy Van Winkle. You know, like it's two different things entirely, and the quality is highly suspect. That doesn't mean that, you know, maybe Shador can't be, like Gary said, the 22nd best quarterback in the league, or a middle of the road starter, maybe. But I mean, let's not pretend that he's a generational guy like Peyton Manning. Um, if the guy has his head on straight, and you know, there's some reason to think that he maybe doesn't, he should have a long career in the league. Um, you know, just with his bloodlines and stuff, and knowing what the league is all about from his family, there's a good chance that he will have some degree of success if his head is on straight. But there's no way the Jets should be taking him at 7. I've come to a point now where I think the right pick for us is either Membu or Warren, because what the Jets need to get out of this draft is they need to get someone, A, who's plug and play, and B, someone who's as much of a sure thing as humanly possible. And I think those guys kind of fit the criteria.
Yeah, if you're not going quarterback, which even if you've got Cam Ward, there's still risk involved in any quarterback. You got to get, to me, take the safe prospect. Like, I don't need a superstar. I need someone that's just good, that lays the foundation. That's, you know what I mean? And I think Warren's going to be
Warren,
good.
he provides such a massive upgrade for us at the position.
Correct.
That it's kind of hard to ignore. I appreciate your time, Jake.
No, fair points, Kyle. If they took Warren, I wouldn't hate it. I really wouldn't. I didn't want Bowers a year ago. I thought Olu was more important. I would not swap that decision at all, despite Bowers having a great year, obviously. Especially look at the O-line situation this year. Like, Olu's awesome. But Warren's a different player than Bowers. Bowers is more Kelsey. Warren is more Gronk. If you want, like, player comps, play style. June says, I have spread the Sanders hate all over the chat. June, I have not done anything, man. All right? You could like Shador Sanders. That's fine. I gave you my points on why I don't think it fits the Jets. You even agreed with them. The celebrity quarterback stuff, the distraction, Dion, the attention it brings. And I played you what Tom McShay said. I'm not a scout. I don't know if Shador is the second best quarterback. Right people say he is. Okay. Now there's some people saying maybe he's not the second best. Maybe it's a real toss-up who the second best is. But everyone agrees Cam's number 1. Which doesn't mean Cam's going to be great, but that's what I'm going off of. And then McShay says this morning. I'm supposed to just be like, it's all good. Not if I don't believe it.
The two people that I spoke to were in meetings and had these individual meetings that I just laid out to you, what they are, who's in there, and why they're important. Teams in the top 10 drafting that need a quarterback. The two people that I spoke to in these positions left the meeting feeling like Shador Sanders was not overly concerned with what they thought of him. They had a 15-minute meeting with them, and when they were done, they both said in different ways, different words, that they did not feel like Shador Sanders cared all that much about what that organization thought of him. Fascinating, right?
Right. And that's not said in any kind of a positive light, correctly. It wasn't like they came in there and he knew who he was and he wasn't concerned about impressing us. It's more of a negative tone, the way you're saying that, right? You're saying it in a way that he did not come in with, you know, ready to impress, ready to show us what kind of a young man he is, what kind of a leader he can be, all of the positive things. That's what you're saying, correct?
All right, so let's go through this in the right order. A couple of the quotes that I put in there. One said that it wasn't a professional approach. One person that I talked to said the best way I can describe it is it just wasn't it wasn't a professional approach. Shador Sanders did not take a professional approach to this interview. The other person I talked to said he wasn't taking it seriously at all. I didn't get the sense that he was taking it seriously. So when you hear it wasn't a professional approach and you hear he wasn't taking it all that seriously, That's not the interview that you're looking. It's not the response you're looking for from a potential suitor, from somewhere you plan to go play.
Does that sound like an Aaron Glenn player? To me, it doesn't. Now, the Jets vet him and they think he is great. He better be awesome. If he's not, Aaron Glenn won't be the Jet coach in 3 years. If Shedeur Sanders is the pick at 7, he stinks. You just moved on from Aaron Rodgers because some of you said you didn't want to deal with everything that comes with him. Now we're bringing Shedeur Sanders. All right, Aaron Glenn, let's go, man. I'm putting my seatbelt on. I'm ready for the ride. I'd like the ride to actually go up instead of, back right into hell. Or, we're in hell right now. We're not out of it. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Let's say hello to Nate, parentheses Nate, live from New York. Hello, Nate.
What's up, Jake? How are you?
Nate, how's it going?
Pretty good. I don't want to rehash too much Shedeur scouting tape and get back into the whole Gary argument. But I do kind of agree on and shout out to Craig in Australia. I'm on your block right now, Craig, 47th Street. So like I don't know. I'm like you. I'm not a QB scout. I can't tell you all the stuff that Gary can, right? But if that's true, what happened in the combine or in the meetings and whatnot, one, you don't like it. Two, like this guy wasn't really he wasn't as talented as a Caleb Williams or anyone else in recent drafts. He didn't. And people called him a winner in chat. He didn't really win a lot in college. But also, like you made the point, he's got a podcast, right? He's a total, like, it seems like he's a total me guy, and it seems like with this regime with Muji and Glenn, it seems like they want to get away from I and team type of guys, where whether he's that or not, the tabloids, the articles, everything is going to be about Shedeur Sanders. It's going to be Sanders, and it's everything his dad says, everything he says. So I think just for that. Maybe not just for that reason, but that's one of the reasons. I just think they're guys. One left Russell Wilson, one got rid of Matthew Stafford. Like one got rid of a Hall of Famer with a big cap hit. I don't think they want to move on to like I said, an iron team type of QB. But hey, if they say he's the guy, I guess I'm behind it. I think they're gonna want to build their culture year one, and like you said, the quarterback kind of starts their timer immediately. So I think it makes a lot more sense to build the talent. Like we all think that the Lions could have won with a different quarterback other than Jared Goff, right? And same with the Broncos, the Bo Nix. It wasn't the quarterbacks that got them to the playoffs. I mean, the quarterbacks played well, but it was the talent on the team and the coaching staff. Which, if we have the coaching staff, which we all hope we do, and we build the talent, it doesn't really matter if it's Shedeur, who we all think is going to be, at best a top 10, 15 quarterback. We don't think he's a top 5 guy. He's not a. We've heard a lot of the chat talk about, we need a dual threat quarterback. But he's not a dual threat quarterback, and he's not a guy that won a lot in college. So if you're going to sell me, you got to sell me more on Shedeur than what I'm currently hearing. And then obviously what you heard in the combine and whatnot is not fun to hear. But Jake,
he won a lot in college, though, Nate, is the only thing I'll say. I mean, he never lost any games at Jackson State, and then Colorado was a joke until he got there.
Jackson State is a joke as well. Colorado is still what major games, what big teams did he beat at Colorado? Granted, he turned around a program somewhat, but he played with a Heisman Trophy winner. I think he got 2 other wideouts that are going to be drafted. So he's got 3 NFL wide receivers.
Nate, they won 1 game before he got there, though. I'm not going to take that away from Shedeur.
All right, yeah, they helped. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not this dual threat. Like when we're talking about, we want a Josh Allen, we want a Mahomes. Unless he's Patrick Mahomes from the pocket and has that creativity, but. Yeah, he helped with his dad turn around and be a really bad program. I think his dad is more of a turnoff. I don't want any player that's only been coached by his father his whole life. To me, that's a major red flag. You talked about Tyler Shuck and how it's a positive that he's been to multiple systems and multiple offenses, multiple coaches. This guy's only been coached by his dad, and now he's going to get coached by Aaron and kind of a more hard nose. Well, maybe not more hard nose, but it ain't pops.
How's Columbus Circle treating you?
It's more tourists and taxis, the usual, but not bad. It's better than the holidays.
They got a Nathan stand on your right. Enjoy it.
No. Great supply. I'm like 10 blocks from Grays. Why would I get a hot dog for these dusty ass, dirty ass dogs?
Well, then you got to go buy a drink though if you go to Ray's.
I don't have to, but I will. I will gladly. We're 2 minutes from Grays Papaya, and that might sound like a stop. I was thinking about getting some food on the way home.
Yeah.
All right, stop distracting me with the city. So you're all 4 wins, right, on the Jets next year, right? which I see because we just got rid of 2 Hall of Famers. Basically, we just cut them for nothing. But do you see similarities or some parallels to the 2018 when we got rid of Favre? We had one young lockdown cornerback. We had 4/5 of an offensive line. We then added Faneca. We added Lito Shepard opposite of Revis. Was a terrible signing. Hopefully we do something better opposite that. We didn't have a quarterback in question. Nobody was really all over Mark Sanchez or who we were going to get in free agency to replace Favre. People were iffy on Rex. He ended up bringing in Jim Leonard and his own guys and Bart Scott, who many of us have jerseys of now, but we didn't know their names before they signed with the Jets. I'm just, free agency, like you said, it's going to be up Monday. You're going to be all over that. I'm a little bit more positive if we have the coach. Like if we all, a lot of us think he's the right guy, and if he is the right guy,
yeah, then they could be good.
He's going to bring in 2 of his guys. Yeah, exactly. He's going to bring in 2 of his guys. They're going to end up being Jim Leonard, Bart Scott type guys. We're going to get a quarterback. I don't know if it's going to be a Mark Sanchez type of trade up. If it is, I'm behind it. If it's a veteran, they've done that route before too. But I just think that there's like the team can only get better. We watched how bad the coaching was. We watched how bad the play calling was. We watched both defensively and offensively at the line of scrimmage how outmatched we were. Like, how can we not get better next year, right? That's where I stand on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they should be better, but I mean, are they going to be a playoff team? Are they going to have a winning season? I have my doubts.
I don't know. I think like I don't know what I think Giants fans, Mara always wants to have winning or play meaningful games in December. I think I'm on that boat. If I don't know who Tyrod, I don't know who the quarterback again is going to be. But if we have a talent on this roster, right? We just said we got 2 or 3 guys on every level of the unit, offense and defense. There's enough to win with, regardless of who the quarterback is. If we have the coaching right, so I don't know. I'm more on like this is the 2008 move on from Favre and whether it's Sanchez or a veteran, get our guy and let's build a culture. I'm waiting on my Aaron Glenn voicemail to the season ticket holders to get us hyped up.
Yeah.
Before we beat Tom Brady in week 2 at home or week 3 at home, that was fun. I don't know. He's got, and as we're passing a great supply of stuff for the hot dog as we speak. Whoa!
Don't get hit there, Nate. It's good to have you back on the bike though, because I mean, with your matchup coming up in this tournament on Friday, you had to remind people on why you're such an iconic caller, Nate.
With my second round matchup with Peter Castro.
No, your first round matchup with Yeti. Don't overlook Yeti.
Oh, that one. I mean, Yeti called in. First of all, Yeti called in and tried to impersonate me after I impersonated him. And his blah, 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 blah phone call might have been the most sense and the best points he's ever made on a phone call. So shout out to Yeti impersonating me and being your best phone call of the time. But, man, we need some more creativity from the ASMANIAC. It's going to come at me with the same heat. Speaking of creativity, I don't have a hole, Jake. I don't have a hole here.
Hit it, Brees.
We'll make a hole.
Brees.
Yeah, Brees. Speaking of Brees, Jake, I had this thought as I was doing mock drafts and drafting Ashton Genty, and then I see the notification on my phone of Saquon Barkley getting a 2-year extension after his major deal. Right? Do you have any thoughts of just and they're looking over tape, right? But they want Sherwood supposedly. There's guys looking at the team. Is there any sense of signing Brees, giving him an extension? Like, I don't want to lose him for nothing or some type of comp pick next year. Is there any sense to giving Brees like the 3-year? You probably don't have to give him Saquon money, but I think Saquon signed for like 3 years, 36 with Philly before he got his extension. Do you try to get ahead of the game and go like 3 years, 30 with Brees? And then for the next 3 years, you're set. You have your backfield of Allen, Brees, Davis, and it cost you a total of like what 13, 14 million. Like these are three guys and Brees Hall. I don't know if Engstrand's going to want to run a similar backfield to kind of what Gibbs and Montgomery were, kind of have a speed home run hitter and a power back like we have with Braylon. So speaking of Brees hitting the hole, my thoughts on Brees. I just don't want to lose him like we did Huff. I don't want another Huff situation with like, yeah, he was a good Jet, and then he has his best year, his walk year, and then we get nothing for him, and then we end up trying to replace him the next year. So I don't know. I just think something like could they kind of just get ahead of the game and give Brees? I know it's lots of people are against giving running backs a second contract, but
I would just
I kind of want to.
they have him on. They could use the tag on him and negotiate with him on that window next year. Let's just see how he does with this new system. Let's see how they use him if he has this great year. Because he didn't have a great year this year. He still hasn't had over 1,000 yards rushing in a year. Hopefully, Engstrand could utilize him and turn him into the player that I all think talent-wise we believe he is.
Yeah, it is a super strong running back class too, and I'm totally lost for what they're going to do at 7. I hope it's easy. Like Carter or Hunter, one of those guys slip, even though I know it's not. But I know one of your callers, who's a first-time caller, mentioned earlier, if they get trade back for multiple seconds, or get a second or a third, just get multiple picks in this draft. It seems like the consensus is there's a lot of kind of down 2 guys or late ones there. Just fuck up. All right, bro, you got it. Yeah, I'm all on the trade back if we can.
I got you. Ladies and gentlemen, Nate, Nate, live from New York City. How about that? Return to New York City biking, Nate. Haven't had that in a while. How about this comment here from Aaron? I'm sorry, Nate. Do research on Sanders. Will be passing up the next Burrow. If he's the next Burrow, he'd be the first pick in the draft. There wouldn't be any debate on him sliding. Please. Hey, if you're right, you could send me to the hole, but right now I have no choice but to do this with that type of comment. Next Burrow, please. I get liking a prospect, but do we have to be ridiculous? More calls right now. Neil is on the line. Hello, Neil.
Jake, how are you?
Neil.
Say hello to Duke.
Duke?
I wanted to dispel any rumors about my treatment of my animals, in the jet. Here, Duke is having a lunch of leftover monogot and my wife's meatballs, which anybody in the chat would probably walk. My brother drives 3 hours to have my wife's cooking. So, Duke, look at his face looking at that food and licking his chops right now. He's about to devour this in about 6 seconds. So let's take a look at Prince Duke eat his lunch real quick here. Hang on 1 second. I'll put it down and watch how long it takes him to demolish this food. Hang on 1 second. Hang on.
We're hanging here. Don't worry.
I'm going to put the food down. Here's his food. And there it is. Now watch.
Oh, yeah.
There he goes. Monogot and meatballs that anybody would absolutely adore to eat anytime. And this is his lunch. This is a typical day in the life of my dog. My dog gets treated better than most humans. Now watch. The best part is when the paper dish moves, he puts his paw on it so it doesn't move. Watch. It's pretty cool. Watch. He's eating it now. Now the dish is going to start moving. Watch what he does. He takes his paw and he puts it on the dish to slow it down. And then he lifts the dish up and licks the tomato sauce off. Watch. Pretty cool. Watch. He's going to start. Oh, come on, dude. All right. So there's a lunch that he demolished for a 5-pound dog. He demolishes this lunch. If I put another pound, if I put 4 meatballs on a plate, he'll take 1 meatball and he'll take off with it and go under the couch because anything that falls on the ground.
You just got a vote from Jay in the tournament.
Look at this little guy go.
Luppy's voting for your dog.
Look at this guy. And now watch what he does. Watch. Yeah, there he goes. He puts his foot on there. He's licking it plate clean. He licks the plate clean. This guy is a physic. Now, Duke.
How old is Duke?
He's 6. You know what it is? He has Yorkies are famous for having what's called a collapsed trachea. It's like 50% of them get that condition. The trachea collapses. All right, that's enough. Now, you're going to kiss me for that food? Let me kiss. Hey. He's looking for more food. But what a face on this thing, right? This guy is a doll.
Where's his cigar?
I don't have my cigar now. I'm not going to light my cigar. So I just had my lunch. So he'll get his when When he leaves the room, I'll light up. You know, he doesn't come. He's not in contact with my cigar ever. You know, he actually loves to take. He takes my cigar, right? His favorite thing to do is to take. Watch, it's hysterical. He takes the wrapper. Is this little piece here? He takes this, has a little bit of like a cigar wrapper flavor on it, and he goes crazy. He takes the wrapper. What? Hey, dude, you want my wrapper? See, he has it in his mouth now. Now he takes my wrapper. He goes out. He has his afternoon cigar. That's his afternoon cigar. He chews on the wrapper. He gets like the nicotine taste. And he really loves that, you know, for whatever reason. Anything that I eat, cereal, he will eat anything that is put in front of him. But, you know, I give him the fresh pets.
What happened to Neil? Neil, hold on.
He doesn't eat a lot of. He doesn't eat a lot of people food. He eats fresh pet. You know, you can't give these dogs a lot of people food, otherwise they get, you know, stomach problems and everything. But he was. He's a great dog, and there's not much else to talk about here. You know, we're talking about quarterbacks. We're
You want
talking
Shedeur
about
Sanders?
Oh yeah, I can't wait. You know, I can't wait for Shedeur. You know,
Beningo wants Shedeur. I was texting with him.
Beningo really wants him?
He likes Shedeur Sanders. Yeah.
Look, the guy's accurate. I mean, he's an accurate passer. You know, again, it's going to be anybody that comes into this team is going to be faced with a lot of. Somebody made a good point. I don't know who made the point about him being a little bit spoiled. You know, with his father being his only coach and everything like that. You got to wonder, you know, like Tyler Shook played with a bunch of different offenses and everything. This guy's played with one team. His father's coached him the whole way. I don't know if he has the, you know, you have to have a really different type of personality to be a Jet quarterback. Wouldn't you think, Jake? I mean, the New York media is going to eat this guy up. How's he going to take when he gets off the field after he throws a couple of picks and we're all pissed off and everything? And what happens when he gets booed? What is he going to do when he gets in a press conference and he gets booed? I mean, I think that he's going to have more of a Zach Wilson personality than a tough, you know, edge personality. And it's a problem. I don't see it. I don't really see him being the guy. But then again, what the hell do I know? What do we all know? We have to take a shot. I mean, at the end of the day, I like the idea of trading up for the number one guy and blow a couple draft picks. Peter had a great suggestion. Let's give Sauce Gardner and the number 7 pick to move up to number 1 and get the number one quarterback. I mean, that's not a horrible take. I don't really, you know, something like that. You got to throw a player in with the 7 pick to go up to number 1. You can't.
The biggest mistake they made is not firing this whole crew of shitheads before the season started. The coaches can't make decisions. They don't correct anything. I mean, this is a joke.
You want to trade Sauce and 7 to go to number 1, Peter?
I would. If they feel that he's that good, Cam Ward, if the coaching staff feels that good, I would do it in a minute. What do you got for Sauce Gardner?
He's
so great.
All-Pro. Yeah.
Yeah, he's wonderful. He runs away from tackles. He can't catch the ball, and he's got his hands all over everybody. I would replace him in a minute. I mean, I think that what's his name?
Who's playing corner then? Like you're weakening your defense.
We could draft the corner, or we
Draft
could get
the corner.
free agency.
With what picks?
Okay, so we'll get one in free agency.
Well, you just traded away your number 7 pick in Sauce. I mean, like now in 2026, you probably need to draft a corner. The guy's not going to be as good as Sauce Gardner.
But Jake, wouldn't you think that Aaron Glenn could coach up a mediocre cornerback to be a really good cornerback?
I mean, I guess he can. I mean, you know, Joe Douglas was an offensive line guru because he played it in college. It took 6 years for him to finally give us an average line.
But here's the question. Do you want to give up multiple? I mean, what is it going to take to get to number 1, Jake? At least the 7th pick. We're going to have to give up another 2nd-round pick in this draft, another 1 pick next year.
Next year's 1, a 2nd this year, and next year's 1. I think is probably where it starts.
That's a lot of draft capital.
And trading a 2-time first-team All-Pro who, in his down years, still graded out as a top 3 corner.
Yeah, but you're going to have to pay him. We're going to have to pay him.
Yeah, but he's someone you want to pay.
I don't want to pay him.
I don't want to pay him big corner
Big
money.
Not the way he's
Do you guys remember how bad the secondary was before Sauce? There's a reason why the Jets defense the last several years has been like top 5 against the pass.
I don't know.
Bonesy makes a pretty good point. When was the last time trading up for the first quarterback worked out? Trying to think.
I get it. I'm not. Look, I'm not.
Hey, it's just an idea. The other idea is to get Justin Fields in there and let's run the ball. Let's run the ball. If Tyrod Taylor is, I think is good, and if you had Justin Fields and he beats out Tyrod, run the ball, throw the ball, and keep your 7th-round pick and get another offensive player, either a lineman that could help you run the ball or a good receiver, another good receiver, because basically we have nobody. All these Devontae's gone. What's his name is gone. What's his name?
Adam Lazard is not
your favorite player, Peter. He doesn't have a pulse.
He doesn't have a pulse. He's half dead.
Your boy, Alan Lazard.
He's terrible, but he's gone. All right, and the guy that got returning kicks, Gibson, he's got to go too. He's terrible. I mean, so I don't know which way you're going to go. You want to draft a defensive player or an offensive player? The team starts with a quarterback. You have to have a good quarterback. If you don't, you're going nowhere.
Well, they just got rid of a guy who threw 28 touchdowns coming off an Achilles. So that was their
What
choice.
about now? Is New Orleans trying to go after what's his name? The kid we were just talking about. I can't remember this guy. What? Fields. I can't remember this guy's name. Every time I hear, I can't think of him. That's how bad I think I don't want him. I can't even put his name in my lips. Is the Saints want him too, Jake?
Justin Fields? I don't know who the Saints. I haven't heard that.
Listen,
I thought the Saints were after him.
Neil, he's the best out of a bad lot. There's no quarterbacks out there. There's no good quarterbacks out there.
What about Derek Carr with a good offensive line? You don't like him?
I only wanted Carr if it meant they were going to keep Devontae, which is now not happening.
No, that's not happening. So I would just go with this is going to be if this is a bad coaching staff, this is going to be a horrible season.
Correct.
I mean, we don't know how this season is going to go until we watch a couple of games because none of us know. We got rookies all over the place. Rookie offensive coordinator. We don't know how this is going.
Why did you take Peter off?
I didn't.
No. He's got a problem with his phone.
Hold on, he's back. I got him back.
There he goes.
Here I am. I don't know. Where was I?
You said that we have a first-time coordinator and all this other shit.
This team is going to stink. Just prepare yourself for it. If they're good, we'll be happy. I smell 4 wins, so I hope I'm wrong.
I kind of agree with you. I don't see, but there is a possibility that they can win 9 or 10 games.
Yeah, if Aaron Glenn's the coach of the year, like Mangini was in 06, like Rex was obviously great. Like if they hit on the coach, they could be a lot better, assuming they get like some competency at quarterback, which maybe they can. I mean, Tyrod's good when he's out there. I don't think he's going to stay healthy.
I don't think so either. That's why I would get another decent quarterback behind them, either Justin Fields or Jameis Winston, one of those two. I would take Justin Fields.
Don't say that guy Winston. I don't want.
I would take him over some of the other options. He at least could throw the ball.
Throw picks.
Yeah.
He also could throw touchdowns too, which we don't see a lot.
I know, I get it, but what do I want to do? What do I want to have the lead in the fourth quarter? He gets the ball, throws a pick six like Fitzpatrick did against Buffalo. I don't want that. I want game managers like Sanchez, like a Chad, game managers that'll matriculate down the field. We run the ball and we try to take teams and out-possession them. We have to have the time of possession on our side. Well, who would you rather have? The number 1 right tackle. I mean, we're going to have a chance to draft the first or second best offensive lineman in a draft. Correct, Jake? The way it looks now.
they're probably the second offensive lineman.
The guy that we were talking about yesterday has a weird name. He was not in. He was not the first tackle that they're looking for. McShane had a different guy going 3 or 4.
Mobo, the guy.
That guy Mobo, but he was not on McShane's list.
No, McShane. I don't have McShane's rankings in front of me.
Who's this guy? Will Campbell. That's who everybody thinks is going to go first.
Yeah, he's got small arms though, so they're saying that he might not be the first O lineman off the board. He's more of a guard, so it could be.
So,
Armin Mubu from Missouri.
So I would rather have the best offensive lineman and then the best tackle or defensive tackle in the draft going out number 1, because now we have 5 solid offensive linemen, all young. We have that side of the trenches taken care of. Defensive linemen, you could always pick up guys, for $2, $3, $4, $5 million. You can get some defensive linemen. That's my feeling. Wouldn't you think? Offensive linemen are a premium, and getting another star in there. Now we could take it with our new offensive line coach and really develop an offensive running attack and protect the quarterback. And maybe Tyrod Taylor could make 16 games and not get hurt. I mean, we all talk. Right?
We're going to have to turn into a running football team. Yeah. All right. And you'll know right away if when it comes to the half, if Glenn's going into the locker room with 3 timeouts in his pocket or he's punting the ball on 4th down and they're inside the 40-yard line. If he's any good, we'll know right away. And if he's good, this team could win. It should be able to win 9, 10 games. Why not?
Hey, listen, they're going to win because we all think they're going to suck. We all thought they were going to win last year, and they sucked. I mean, it's always the opposite.
I hope it's like 06.
That's what I think. I think we're going to end up winning a lot of games because nobody expects us to. But where does that mean? If we edge into the playoffs, we're all going to be happy as shit, and hopefully that's what happens with us. I'm not putting that out.
Hold on, I got to start winding down this show because I got things to do. I'm already 2 hours in, and I got so many people on hold. So I got to get your guys' thoughts on the matchup this afternoon. Beast and Briga, an OG fan like you guys. Who you guys have in this one?
Peter?
I like Briga.
You're voting Briga?
Yep.
Neil?
I like One Punch. Look, Beast, I don't want to get on Beast's bad side. I like Beast a lot, all right? But first of all, his internet is for shit. Okay, that's a problem.
Oh my God!
His internet is worse than BMAC. I mean, who's the guy we always shut off? BMAC had bad internet too, right? Who was the guy that had bad internet every time he calls? We had to shut him off.
But he figured it out.
Oh, Ricky, yeah, Ricky.
BMAC has.
So why can't this guy figure it out? He's got. I'm looking over here in the StreamYard. And you got Gator helping him fix his internet. In the meantime, every time he gets on, it's for shit. What the hell's going on with this guy?
He doesn't listen. We've tried everything.
Jesus Christ. I like him. He's very entertaining. He's not been look, this is the Asmaniac 1 year. This is a year. Okay. He's not ready yet. Okay. Junior GM. I like Junior GM a lot. I think he's going to be terrific in the future if he keeps calling in. But he's not been on the show long enough for me to feel that he could go far in the challenge. I don't believe Beastbreaker could go far because of his lack of being in long enough. Now, you guys and Peter and I had a little discussion. He's getting a little bit of a push from you guys. A little push.
Gator's his campaign manager, man. He's just Paul
I get it. Listen. Gator could make you or break you. If he wants to break anybody on his show, he just has to go out there and make a cartoon and we're done. I mean, Gator, if you have Gator on your side, Jake, he can make you turn. He could shut you off if he wants. That's the power of the Gator.
I don't know if you saw this, though, Neil. Gator is lending his services to all because he doesn't want people to think that, he's playing any favorites here. So there's an offer standing. If you send Gator, email him your pitch, he'll put it together in campaign form. So that's for everyone in the tournament if you want to make your pitch.
Well, I'm not campaigning. I don't need to campaign. I just want to have fun here. I don't give a shit what happens. Peter also doesn't care. Whatever happens, We know the Asmaniacs. We know what we contribute. We love the show. We love Jake. We love all the Asmaniacs. And let the chips fall where they may. But I will say, we love the show. That's all I got to say. I'm done.
Gentlemen,
I'm out.
Excellent
I'm
job.
out.
Love it. Both of you guys are tremendous.
My mother wants to know who I'm talking to. I'm on StreamYard, Mom. I'm on YouTube.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
Charles, you're the best, dude. I can't. Mom, the meatloaf.
The meatloaf!
Mom, meatloaf.
I just don't know if anyone's beating Gorman when it's all said and done. He's been on some run with these calls lately. That was 2 days ago. And then yesterday, Gorman gave us a call for the ages from Costco. I mean, come on now. All right, can we rapid fire through who's left? Because this show is approaching 2.5 hours. Big fella's next. What's up, big fella? You're on mute, big fella.
All right. How you doing? I've been thinking about like our off season and stuff like that. If we get Fields, I'm thinking that we draft Tyler Warren instead of Will Johnson, because I think Fields would need that reliable tight end that can actually block as opposed to anything else for the team. And that would, provide us with more of a chance to win. If we go Jameis Winston's more of a thrower. Then I would go Will Johnson with that, because then that would solidify our secondary.
I think that makes sense because look, they need a tight end no matter who the quarterback is. But if you're going to have Fields, who's a running quarterback, you get a guy who could help you in the pass game and the running game. He's a really good blocker.
Yeah, that's what I got. I've just been thinking about that. I just want to get your take on that.
I agree with you, big fella. Now, your thoughts on this afternoon's matchup. You've taken Beast under your wing in the past, trying to help him, and
I have.
Now he's going up against an OG in Briga.
It's tough. It's like picking between your kids, man. I don't know. I'm torn on this one. I really am. We'll have to see, because I like Briga a lot too. So, I like them both.
It'll be a hell of a matchup.
It is. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. So I'm looking forward to it. Great shows, man. That's a quick hit right there. So
big fella, you're the man. Thank you very much. From big fella to Jets Johnny. What's up, Johnny?
Jake, my brother, how you doing today, man?
What's up, dude?
Not much, bro. I don't even know where to begin. The takes today have been wild. I mean, they want to trade Sauce. Neil wants a game manager. Like, it's not 1990, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you can't have a game manager quarterback and do anything. But
that
I just
wanted
wanted
the craziest take today. Did you see Gary?
No. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know where to begin. Like I just, my mind is boggled. And then between that and the disrespect for Shedeur Sanders is insane. If this guy's name was Shedeur whatever, nobody would have these takes about him. The only reason why people have the doubts about Shedeur Sanders is because of his last name, is because of his father, and because of all that stuff. I fully believe that, because you look at this guy's tape, he's the most accurate quarterback in the class. He had no line. He was running for his life. He had nobody on offense with him. Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. Now, I would take Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders. I think Cam Ward's the truth. I don't think there's any way that man's nothing but great in the NFL. And you guys mentioned earlier trading like this year's one, next year's one, and a second for the first pick overall this year. I do that in a heartbeat for Cam Ward. No hesitation, no thought whatsoever, no
you
second
believe
thought.
in Cam? Look, Shedeur,
yeah.
I don't want to like he's a very good college quarterback.
Right.
I have my doubts with some of the stuff coming out if he's a fit for Glenn and the Jets. If they took him at 7, I wouldn't scream and yell. I would understand it. I don't know. I feel way better about Cam Ward than I do Shedeur, but nobody knows at the end of the day.
Right. No, for sure. Like I don't think I would trade up for Shedeur, but if he's there at 7,
you would take.
You cannot pass on him. There's no way. I don't care about nothing. And also, the reason why I'm pissed today is because I got woken up very early today. The police were here. They were looking for this guy, Allen Avital. He's been missing. He's been ducking me. I want you, Allen. Call in or concede.
Ladies and gentlemen, a ferocious call from Jets Johnny.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? You get to
That's what the madness is all about right there. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, a holy bleep super membership bomb.
It's the ASMANIAC membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Time to strap up. Here we go. I got 20 names to read, folks. One day I'll get a helmet that fits. Until then, we'll make do. Frank P's in the raffle for 20. This is late in the show. How about it from Frank? Thank you, Frank. Chris KV, D-Mac, Lord Streets, Nicholas Gonzalez, Rob the God, 777, David Sadowski, Dewey Liar, Donnie Burden. YouTube, please, I beg you, get a better system for relaying these names. It's a joke. Tony DeFilippo, Rebecca Ellen, Will M, Capo, Marvin ZB, Lucas, Dan Maldaloni, David White, Josh B. The Prez, all receiving memberships from the Frank P. Coming through for the people. How about it? Let's go, man.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Ugh. That wasn't loud enough either. And I had Beast on me at the music blasting, so I had to turn it down. How about another AG?
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Boom. Let's go. All right. Let's wrap up the show with a couple more calls here. JJ's next. Hello, JJ.
What's going on, my friends? How you guys doing today?
What's up, JJ?
Real quick. See, I'm not like opposed to Shador Sanders. He's not my number one. I really want Cam Ward, but I don't understand why people are so like, no, we don't want Shador. I mean, he could be the next Jaden Daniels, the next CJ Stroud. He had a really good college career. And to all those who are saying they're worried about him because he's never been coached by anybody other than his father, I mean, he's had multiple different offensive coordinators throughout his college career. So he has been coached by other people than his father. His father is not sitting there as the quarterback coach or the OC. His Dion was actually his OC when he was in high school. So he's been coached by other people on that side of the ball. So I'm not too sure. And honestly, I don't really know about this Aaron Glenn thing. I don't know if it's going to work out. I'm rooting for the guy, but when you hire a rookie offensive coordinator and you don't learn from the mistakes of Robert Saleh, it gives me a little cause for pause. So if things don't work with Aaron Glenn and we do get Shador Sanders, the bright side is at least we can get prime time, and he can change around organizations in a hurry. So I'm sold on Shador if it comes to that. I don't think he'll make it to number 7 though, because I think the Raiders pick right before us, and I'm sure with the connection to Tom Brady's been coaching this guy since he was a kid. I'm sure Tom Brady will be gunning for Shador. So
I could see him easily going to the Raiders at 6, so that's not a crazy take. Now, Coach Dion, Coach Prime with the Jets, if Glenn's not the guy and Shador's like, okay, I guess years from now, maybe. I don't know. I don't think Shador's going to be the Jet quarterback, so. We're having the conversation because Kiper mocked him there, and McShay said what he said on his podcast, so we got to talk about it, but I don't think Shador Sanders fits the player that Glenn wants at the quarterback spot. Move on from Aaron Rodgers and what comes with it and bring on Deion Sanders' kid. I'm not buying it. All right. Luppy's up next. Luppy, then Philly. Oh, there's so many of you on hold. I've been on for so long. Luppy, you're up next.
Hey, I'll make it quick, Jake. Sorry. How you doing today? Everything's good?
What's up, Luppy?
Listen, GM and coach. Brand new GM, brand new coach. The first thing to do is to get rid of Rodgers, to get rid of Devontae. What's their plan? I don't think their plan is to wait at 7 to see if he falls in your lap. I mean, I really want to see what their plan is. They got to have some sort, because they're releasing these guys, and they're just going to wait for somebody to fall in their lap. That's why I think this is a little crazy with the Sanders, because like I said, I don't think he's going to fall just like I don't think he's going to fall at 7. If we do pick him, it's not the worst thing we do, but he's got to have some sort of a plan. I mean, there's nobody out there. What was their plan? I'm just getting a little nervous. They're boxing themselves in a little bit here right now.
Well, free agency hasn't started yet, Luppy, so you don't know what the plan is.
I know, but if they're boxing themselves in a little bit by not holding on to Rodgers, I know that they're going to let him go and they want that hoopla. But
but nothing has changed since then yet, because nothing has happened. You know what I mean? So like your take now, you could have gave weeks ago. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, well, it's next week we see what they do, what veteran they're going to add.
True, but I am getting a little bit nervous. They are boxing themselves in a little
You
bit.
should.
know.
You should. I think they made a mistake. I think they should have kept Aaron Rodgers for this year and Devontae Adams. Now we have no receivers besides one, and we have no quarterback. And we're going to have to trust that this regime has a plan to get the right people that can make this team competitive next year.
Yeah, and I'm on the Winston bandwagon, no Fields, because Fields can't throw it down the field. I mean, they're just going to throw 8 in the box and just come after us. And we're going to have a spy on him, and he's not going to be able to throw it away. I mean, we've had Testaverde before who used to throw interceptions before he got here. If this is a disciplined coaching staff like Ala Parcells was, maybe they reel him in, and we got a little something there at least for a year or so, with Tyrod. That's something I'd want to go somewhere. What do you think?
Yeah, totally fair. I would prefer just Jameis Winston over Fields as well, but I'm not going to kill them if they sign Fields because I get it. Like, he's young. Maybe they think they could be the ones to coach him. Like, you watch Fields' college tape, he could throw the ball. Hasn't translated in the NFL, but he has gotten better year over year. His completion percentage has improved. All right, I got time for the 4 people that are on hold. I will get to you because one of them on hold right now is a living legend. Ladies and gentlemen, he goes by many names. On this show, his name is Mikey Midnight.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not going to touch anything, I promise.
Mikey!
Hey, Jake. How you doing?
What's up, Mikey?
Yeah, Jake, I missed you. My brother.
I miss you too, Mikey.
You did Jets should do?
Justin Fields?
Justin Fields, right? Then trade Travis to the Detroit Lions for Hooker.
You love Hooker.
Yeah, Hooker, that guy. And remember, we could get the Penn State quarterback. He's pretty cool.
Penn State quarterback. Next year, you're saying?
Yeah, and then he was the tight end for Penn
the
State.
tight end. I see. Okay, you want Tyler Warren?
Yeah, and Warren and the quarterback too. That would be pretty cool. He's only 20 years old, I heard. 20 years old, the quarterback for Penn State. What was his name?
He's not coming out. He stayed in school for another year. Drew Aller.
Yeah, and what about if we get the guy for Detroit and trade Travis? Everybody say the guy's suing the Jets already. So let's trade into Detroit and get a Hooker.
Hendon Hooker. I think you only like his name. You like him so much because of his last name being Hooker.
No, I like that name. What about that guy from what's it called? Arizona State, Dixon Hall.
Would you take Dixon Hall? Now that's a name that excites me.
Why? He's not real. He's pretend.
No, he's real. He Lane Train scouted him.
And then you know what happened on the radio station?
Oh no.
Wait there. What happened? You hear
You're
me
back.
now?
I hear you. You're back.
Okay, here's my plan. We get out my buddy Justin Fields. We got that wide receiver from the Saints too. All the reunion coming back to Ohio State.
Olave. You want Chris Olave?
Yeah, we like it. He's gonna get better. Everybody doesn't know that.
I like it. Now let me tell you, I want Dixon Hall. All right, that's the guy who I want.
Okay, we get Dixon Hall. We could put him in. He could sit on the bench and follow everybody else.
Yeah.
The 27th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select Dixon Hall out of Arizona State. What am I, a mind reader?
Lane Train ahead of everyone on that one. I mean, Mikey, excellent call. I can't wait for the butter region to get started. Oh, it's going to be fascinating to see how Mikey does. He's my pick to win it all. You're the man, Mikey. Call back anytime. Speaking of the man, Austrian Jet fan. He's back with 10 memberships. Boom. Let's go. Austrian Jet fan in the raffle for another 10. Will I be sending another prize item to Austria after earlier this week? I stopped by the post office on Monday and sent an autographed Nick Mangold jersey and some extra swag all the way to Austria because the number one Austrian Jet fan won again. Anthony Kennedy, Spencer Green, Andres 1K, Mark Cardinal, Doey Joey, Edward Caban 2, Tom Latz, Walter Raines, all receiving memberships there from the Austrian Jet fan. All right, couple calls left, then we wrap. Eddie on the line. Steady Eddie. What's up, Edward?
Hey, Jake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Edward. How are you?
Pretty good. I have my feelings on this draft. You know, I'm going to be brief because I know you're pressed for time a little bit. I wouldn't mind having Justin Fields and see what he can do. You know, I'm not super high on him, but I could live with it, that kind of thing. My question to you is, what good 5-6 year NFL free agent pro quarterbacks are going to be available next year? That's the question. We know what we got this year. It's not the greatest, but who do you think is going to be coming available next year that might be a step above the best guys we have available this year? And as far as my picks in the draft, I would either like to get that interior lineman, Mason Graham, if he falls to 7, or that really good edge rusher, just in case JJ is not ready. What do you think?
Which edge rusher?
I don't remember the guy's name. Everybody's been talking about this kid. I'm usually more up to date with it,
There's
but
a lot of good edge rushers in the draft. That's why.
Well, you know the guy I'm talking about. What the thing is, after the last after the last two seasons.
He's not gonna be there at 7, Eddie.
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I'm kind of disillusioned after the last 2 seasons. I really have. You know us. I haven't been calling in that much. I haven't even been calling in that much with Boy Green. I'm just kind of disillusioned this offseason. I have this total wait and see attitude because I have no idea how this new regime is gonna work. To me, there are too many question marks. I wasn't happy. I mean, I love Aaron Glenn. Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't happy that we're going the rookie, inexperienced route at coaching again. It just kind of. I don't know. I wanted a little bit more solid guarantees. At least we knew what we were getting type of guys in-house. But I'm hoping these guys do good. I mean, I don't know. I'm having this sit back and wait attitude this year. I want them to impress me because after the last 2 seasons of getting kicked in the scrot, going into the season all high and mighty, and I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've had epic rants over the last 2 years about being pissed off at the play of the players. I'm still a Jet fan. I still bleed green, but I'm not buying into the hype this year that much.
I get it. Look, I think this team is not going to be very good. So
I think 6-7 wins is the ceiling for them, unless they can absolutely coach the hell out of them. Because last year, the reason we sucked is because the coaching sucked. There was no creativity. There was no imagination. They let a young quarterback just rot on the bench, just like they did to Mims. I mean, look at Kansas City. They drafted Xavier Worthy. All right. Do you really think Xavier Worthy knew the entire route tree? Probably not. But the guy ran 4.2, so they set him up for success. You know, in posts and flies and bombs and stuff like that. They and quick over the middle stuff. They gave him stuff where he utilized his speed and he was very effective. End around stuff like that. The Jets had no creativity with Malachi Corley. None. Zip. Nada. They just let him rot in the vine like they did to Denzel Mims. I mean, Denzel Mims had other issues too, but still. I think if they had used him and set him up for success, maybe his head would have been so fuzzed up with all the BS that they were pumping into him, and he could have just gone out there and just played football. Because it's an emotional game, but at the end of the day, it's just football. You got to just let them go and do what they got to do. So I definitely think the coaching staff gelded a lot of these players.
The coaching staff stunk. They were horrible. Also, the front office, Joe Douglas, did a terrible job dismantling the strength of the defense, the D-line. Free agent signings that, to be fair, we all thought were good. Mike Williams, Tyron Smith, horrible. I mean, Douglas's best free agent signing was John Simpson, who people mocked when they signed him. Be like, who? This guy's going to start for us? It turned out to be an awesome player. They need more John Simpsons this offseason. The splashy names, it hasn't worked. Taylor says, easy. What do you do is put all your faith in the guy who's a freak athlete. Worry at 7. I don't know who Worry is. Who's Worry? You mean Warren? I'm guessing that's a typo. Tyler Warren at 7. I get it. I see the appeal. He helps you in the running game. He's a pass catcher. His tight end room stinks right now. Oh, E-Man Worry. No, I'm not taking the safety at 7. Did we learn anything from Jamal Adams? Nick E-Man Worry from South Carolina. I'm good. I'm not taking the safety at 7. No, thank you. Philly Noodles up next. What's up, Philly?
Real quick, that safety thing I would do if everything else didn't pan out on the board, or you would just trade back. But I feel like Warren, if they wanted, options would probably be there. What I was going to say with Ziff, with Ed there, I get what he was trying to say. Listen, we're not expecting to win the Super Bowl, right? Hopefully over 4 wins, it is what it is. I can't help it, but Gator's going to, call me out into the chat and say, here's my AR comment for the day. My AR comment would be, as soon as Malachi Corley did what he did and he had his guys on the field, he's not going to get the kid the ball on the field. He don't need to. But it is what it is. So,
Philly, your internet is horrendous. Malachi Corley didn't play because he couldn't get on the field because the coaching staff had no use for him. Yet the front office traded up for him. That's an example of the GM and the coaching staff not being on the same page. I had this whole conversation with Connor Rogers on the show last week. We talked about how Glenn's scouting background hopefully helps with the draft process because him and Muji are going to be aligned with all the players they're taking. That's what you hope. Philly, call back the afternoon show and I'll get you on because your internet was not good there. Ladies and gentlemen, one last call. It's time.
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just going to rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
Yo, I re-edited and sent Gator that video. I sound half awake in it because I'm not getting much sleep at night due to the.
Well, maybe if you're trying to get people to vote for you, Cheats fan, you send a campaign video where you are awake.
I mean, I could resend it, but Gator already said he's got it. He'll work with it.
Are you excited? Tomorrow, your big time matchup gets underway.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed real early tonight. By early to me, it's like 9 or 10 o'clock. Early to other people, it's like 6 p.m.
Do you think you'll have a more dominant win than Gorman did over Chris G?
I honestly think the person who's going to have the most dominant win in the first round is going to be Mikey. As much as I love Lane, I think Mikey is going to win 90 to 10% because Mikey is so lovable. And if you don't like Mikey, sorry language, what the fuck is wrong with you? Mikey's a sweetheart. I wish I picked Mikey to win it all, but I picked Lane.
Tyler Lockett just got released, by the way, folks. So another
Tyler Lockett,
veteran wide receiver is available.
Shit. All I gotta say is this: I honestly think you guys traded up for a quarterback might work, but Sanders also comes with the no celebrity quarterback issue, and I don't want that to clash. But if someone could just put a boot up Sanders' ass and make him fall in line, that'd be good for y'all. My Chiefs traded away one of the good players today. Our lineman.
See you later.
Yeah. I'm pissed about that.
Why? You need cap space and you got a 4th round pick. You could find a guard.
True, but I like my veterans. Unlike Joe Douglas, who screwed up the D line last year. And then signs Reed, and Reed doesn't do much. I'm just hoping everything goes well for you, Jet fans. I'm just hoping. I'm praying for a 9-1 season. Even if you don't,
thank you.
No problem. Even if you miss out on the playoffs and have a 9-win season, look at the Lions. They did that, and they slowly progressed, even though they fizzled out in the second round last year. They're sort of progressing.
The Lions were 9-8 in Aaron Glenn's second year there, so they got to turn it around faster than that because the Jets have a lot more talent than that Lions team did year one that went 3 games.
The only concern is you need to fix up that defensive. Like I said, Joe Douglas, sorry for the language, you completely fucked the defensive line.
And just because you say sorry for the language doesn't mean you have to still curse.
My bad. But I just hope everything works out for you guys, Jet fans. I've always felt like you guys deserve something. Buffalo gets there every year and shits the bed. Dolphins
hey, Chiefs, you hear that?
What?
It's your outro.
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just going to rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
All right, that's a show. I can only do so much Chiefs fan today right now. We'll have plenty of him tomorrow when his region gets underway. Hit the like button if you haven't. 2 hours and 35 minutes. I wanted to do a 90-minute show. We got Jeff Parles at 4, so I got things to do before then. So if we start late, sorry. Check the Discord for updates. Thank you to everyone. And before we end the show, let's close polling because another matchup in ASMANIAC Madness is in the books. With 72% of the votes, Mike D's Nuts defeats Barbarossa 72-27. 576 total votes were cast in the matchup. So congrats to Mike on the victory. Congratulations to Barbarossa on competing hard. Both are excellent callers. And that sets the stage now for the final matchup in the Chicken Soup region in the opening round. Beast, Briga. Both members of the matchup don't like each other. Who's the chat going to vote for? That's the question. We'll find that out this afternoon. What a show. Thank you to all who watched. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My name is Jake Asman, saying have a good one, everybody. Go Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, vote for the Beast. You know why? Because I'm a man's man. I'm a man's man, and let me just say this. 5 times I went back-to-back 5 different times. I've singled 4 titles in my illustrious career. 3 Triple Crowns, 2 Grand Slams, a Hall of Famer. I fit in like the likes of Terry Funk, Dory Funk, Ric Flair, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, Gene Kaniski, and many of the other greats. And don't let my hair fool you. I'm bigger, I'm badder, I'm smarter. I'm not fat, but I'm a man's man, and I'm going to tell it like it is. Vote for the Beast, and you'll see the difference between facts